real Siberius, and we about to get serious. It's the real Siberius, making fanboys furious.
Welcome everybody to the Wednesday Live with the boys. We got a lot to talk about today, but let's go ahead and get into it. Robin, if you can do the shout outs as per usual, I would appreciate it.
Absolutely. Once again, man, shout out to everybody out there. It's great to be here on another Wednesday Live edition, man, with my man Speem, the real Siberius, the Zarda video footage. AOH coming live from the jungles of wherever the hell he is. You never know. He's always traveling somewhere. Once again, shout out to all you guys, man, that continue to come through and support these live shows. It means a lot. Shout out to Cinta Scoldum for coming through. Lynetta 402, Anthony Sanchez, Fodsky Chug. Once again, thank you very much, guys. Powell Gorniak 8550, A Speck of Fantasy, Thinking Through 1642, Speedy Eagle, Davion, Chris Garcia 8877, Socks R2B, Go Fly, Big Brazy, Gino Panzini, Ivan 1294, Inryu Hez, shout out to you, Sovereign 3351, S7s, what was that? Sleepy Audi, M Hunter Stevie, Brandon D. Harrell. Once again, man, thank you very much, Armand Smith. You guys know the deal, man. Let's roll.
Good shit, Robin.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat already. Once again, man, thank you very much, all you guys. Shout out to Chicken Hearn Forever, man, or Chick Hearn Forever.
Hey, shout out to AOH for ruining the momentum.
You know, one thing that I like about this is we constantly see the same names coming through time and time and time again. I was going to say people really showing their support, and that means a lot to me.
Yeah, that's a great point, Siberius, man. And we've said that before, man. That's why we always thank you guys, and it means a lot that you guys continue to come through. I said to see the same names over and over again. Shout out to my man Chip Ferguson, Lionel Jones, my man Ghetto C, the General Cameron, MCOC, Top Dog, man. It's not that serious. Daria Burton, like I said, Lionel Jones. I mean, like I said, man, it's crazy, man. It's like a broken record some out here sometimes on these introductions, and that's a good thing, man. Like I said, thank you very much, guys.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and just show the topics today that we're going to be discussing. We have a few sound bites to react to. Stephen A. Smith says LeBron will be the GOAT if he wins in Philly. The Kobe Bryant disrespect continues. Philly declares LeBron James Day, which is July 24th. All we ever do is talk about LeBron, sure, but at least our content isn't manufactured. And LeBron's media team does seem like they give out monthly rhetoric. So let's just get right into it. I have a clip queued up for First Take. It's Stephen A. and Barkley talking. And if you want me to pause it or anything, just let me know. But let's go.
Gives the Sixers a star-studded starting five of LeBron, Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, and VJ Edgecombe. The move called for a recalibration of expectations and also potential GOAT rankings when it comes to King. Here's Charles Barkley on LeBron in Philly.
If he wins back-to-back championships and walk away this thing at 44-45, I've said something I ain't never said before. This dude, I think I just saw the greatest basketball player ever.
Well, what you said about my...
So I got to stop it right there.
Can you give AOH a chance to get out of that Category 5 storm, please?
Yeah, you're getting a little windy there, AOH.
He's watching Twister, I guess. Or Twisters.
I told you he's out there fighting mountain lions while he's doing live shows.
It's calling from Narnia. Yeah, we should just talk about that for the rest of the show, I feel like.
But let's break down what Barkley just said. If LeBron wins back-to-back championships, he'll call him the GOAT. First of all, that's never, ever going to happen. And the thing that I find hilarious about it is he's on the Sixers, one of the most stacked teams in the NBA, and somehow it would make him the greatest of all time. How the fuck does that work?
Oh, man. Listen, we all love Charles Barkley, right? Everyone loves Charles Barkley. I mean, look at Charles Barkley right there. Charles Barkley like an old black lady right there with them glasses on right now, right? Well, let's be real here, right? Charles Barkley going see now. Charles Barkley don't last his damn mind if he believes anyone's getting on board. I am not going down that road with Charles Barkley. I am not following that man on that. If he talking about, how come every season they move the goalpost for LeBron James with a new what-if scenario? Hey, if LeBron James this, then all of a sudden that. If LeBron James this, all of a sudden that. And then something happens, LeBron James does nothing. We clown LeBron James, and again, they act like they never said this stuff. Listen, there's nothing that LeBron James can do ever that he can pass Michael Jordan. All right, let's just understand that off the jump, ladies and gentlemen. There's no one out there that knows the game, that respects the game, that's ever going to tell you that LeBron James is greater than Michael Jordan. All right, we all know this. Charles Barkley don't last. I don't give a damn if they win champ. I don't give a damn about this. Man crazy if you believe that.
I'll follow that. Yeah, no. What I think is interesting about this, other than he looks like someone that carries brown grocery bags. That's it is a little off-putting to me. I think he is bored. I think that I actually kind of like Brian Windhorst's take on the whole thing, and he says that like even if LeBron brings the chip to Philly, anybody that had him as number 2 isn't going to change their mind because it's 4 chips with 4 rings, or excuse me, 4 chips on 4 teams. And I think the longer he plays, the worse it's going to be for his legacy, regardless. So I think I'd like to see Charles Barkley come back to his senses. Maybe, I don't know, by the end of next season, he should kind of, I'm going to steal the word they use, recalibrate, kind of recalibrate his feelings on this and understand that, LeBron is in fact just a mercenary going after these rings. And when it's all said and done, he's playing with, again, generational talent, generational all-star talent. And I think he might just be living in the moment and unfortunately trying to, to create clips. That's I think he's just caught up in the moment.
Well, no, I agree.
The
The thing that I think it's funny though, and it's something that Robin mentioned, is I already thought that last season they said that if LeBron beat the Rockets, he'd be the GOAT.
You're right.
So what's going on? How can he become the GOAT if he already is the GOAT because he beat the Rockets?
Well,
and
in
I
addition,
thought he was the GOAT in 2016.
Right. There also aren't any consequences. Like if you set this new goalpost and he achieves that, that means something good. Why doesn't it ever knock him down a peg when he can't achieve these things? I mean, Michael Jordan gets knocked down for anything he didn't achieve.
For sure.
Fortunately for him, that wasn't very much. It's a very short list. But people certainly don't say, "Oh, well, you know, we don't hold any of the bad parts against him." No, we do. But his good just outweighs the bad. LeBron's bad outweighs the good by a big margin.
Right, because
that's real quick, Robin. Let me respond to that real quick before I forget. That's the beauty of his marketing. Anytime he fails, they're just gonna blame his age. He has that in his back pocket for the rest of his career.
Since 34.
Yeah, actually, thank you. Yeah, really since 34. So he's been 40 since 30, right? So, you know, they're always going to have that as an excuse. But go ahead, Robin. I just wanted to get that out.
No, I was just gonna say, like, remember how they promoted LeBron James being the GOAT, right? With the Rocket scenario, he was supposed to be carrying the Lakers. That was the whole point they were trying to promote there. Oh man, if LeBron James at 41 carrying the team over the Rockets, but when you watch the series, he didn't carry a damn team. He didn't carry it. He didn't carry them dudes. Them guys was out there balling. That's what we talked about during that series. Guys like Luke Kennard and Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton. These guys stepped up and played good basketball in that series. That's how the Lakers beat the Rockets. It wasn't LeBron James carrying a bunch of bums. That's how they try to promote this stuff. If the Lakers are to win the Sixers win 2 championships, like Charles Barkley is saying, that'll put them over Michael Jordan. How are you going to promote this, Charles Barkley? What does that look like for LeBron James on the basketball court? Was the impact really there? What is he, the fourth, fifth option for that championship? So all of a sudden now that puts him above Michael Jordan when he's riding the coattails as the fourth option on a championship team? That doesn't make any damn sense at all. And again, this has never been about the amount of championships that Michael Jordan has versus LeBron James. This is insane stuff when people try to boil it down to Michael Jordan got 6 and LeBron James got 4. This is asinine stuff. He's miles apart from Michael Jordan in way other areas than just championships. All right. And that's never what this has been about. That's why I told you guys he's not even worthy to be even mentioned with Michael Jordan. And everybody who knows what I'm saying knows what I'm saying. So for Charles Barkley to make these statements, like I said, I don't even know what to say because, like I said, these guys are so inconsistent. And I love Charles Barkley, and he's always saying crazy things. This is another crazy thing that Charles Barkley's saying.
Look, Barkley has said himself what Speem said before, that if you didn't think LeBron was better than Jordan by now, you're not going to. Now here, and Barkley was one of the people that believed that. Now here he is changing his tune. It's disturbing. It's somewhat expected. I said from the beginning when ESPN acquired that crew that it wasn't going to be good. And we see how bad Shaq has gotten. And now Barkley's got to sit up there with Shaq and Kenny, who are obvious LeBron dick suckers. and Barkley was getting quiet as it was. He was already starting to tame himself. Now it's going to get really bad. And yes, I laughed out loud while I was on mute, but he looks like he pays for his groceries with change at the checkout stand.
I mean, listen, if people are going to sit there and say that Kobe Bryant was carried by Shaquille O'Neal all those years, then what the hell are these championships going to look like for LeBron James if the Sixers happen to win a couple of championships here, which I highly doubt they'll even do. But again, this is what we're living in, the woulda, coulda, shoulda, what if scenario LeBron James world.
I mean, I'll be a water boy on the team, and you guys can give me a ring and talk about whether or not I'm the fucking GOAT. That's how important LeBron James will be to this fucking Sixers team.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, except the water boy actually delivers something. I mean,
impactful. It's impactful.
Bars. Absolutely.
I provided water at a high level.
That's all it takes.
That right there made me the greatest water boy of all time.
So when you guys were talking about age, it's actually worse than that. Because LeBron joined the NBA so young, he was too young until the day he was too old. They've weaponized his age. He's always had the excuse.
Yep.
It isn't just one. I mean, like you did say, he's been 40 since he was 35, but they were acting like he was 10 when he was, 18. Like, oh, no, he can't do it. He's too young. You have too high of expectations.
And yet they nicely leave out how young Magic was when he achieved. They leave out Jordan. They leave out Jordan leading an Olympic team when he was a teenager, or collegiate championship. I mean, other people were able to get it done when they were young, just not LeBron.
For sure. Okay, so let's get back into this clip. It's not very much longer, but they do touch on a few more things.
Michael Jordan, you would give LeBron James, if the 76ers win back-to-back titles, you'd give LeBron James the title of GOAT?
I probably would. Dude, if he wins back-to-back at 44, 45 years old, if they can win two more now. I didn't say one more. You said two more.
I said two more.
If he wins two more, I think you have to be kind of crazy not to say he's the best to ever do it.
So there's a pretty interesting conversation on Stephen A. Smith's show with Charles Barkley. Canty, do you agree with Chuck?
Yeah, if he wins two more championships, absolutely.
In his 24th season and his 25th.
Already record-setting in terms of the amount of years played in the NBA.
So something interesting to me. Like, let's say our worst fears are confirmed and they do win two more chips. Okay. If he wins two more chips, if he averages like 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists a game, right? Are they still going to consider him the greatest of all time if he had that minimum? I mean, the answer is yes, obviously. But that is the contribution, I think, realistically, that you can expect from him if they want to win. Because anything more than that, AOH, you bring up all this time. If his numbers expand past that, now he's taking away from the team. So if he comes off the bench, which of course he'll never do, and he averages, 11 points, 5 assists a game, and they happen to win a ring this upcoming season, that to me. Go ahead.
Did you notice that they changed the goalposts even in that conversation? First, it was back to back. He had to win back to back, and by the time 2 more sentences went by, it was just win 2 more total.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. But again, it happened. Remember, they used to wait months.
Listen, if he signed for 2 more years, he would have to
it.
win back to backs. So I mean, that's the only way he could do it.
And also, so language is always important. One of the things that they said is if he wins.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
He wins. But he's not winning shit. He hasn't won any of the 4 that he has. So he's not
3.5.
winning
3.5.
So once again, they're already putting the narrative out there. LeBron James is going to win the championships. Yeah, not the Sixers, not Embiid, not Jaylen Brown, not Tyrese Maxey. No one else is going to get any credit. They're already saying if he wins 2 more listen, man, LeBron James, they should be saying LeBron James has to be Finals MVP for those championships. If LeBron James got there with Finals MVP, that's what they should be saying. And like I told you, I don't give a damn what LeBron James does. This is never going to be about LeBron James winning championships to put him above Michael Jordan. He ain't never going to be close to Michael Jordan. He ain't never going to be above Michael Jordan. He ain't never going to be in that conversation with Michael Jordan, man. It ain't never going to happen. That ship done been sailed. Ben said when you talk about Michael Jordan, that's a whole nother level, my man. A whole nother level. That's why we laugh. You shouldn't even be compared to Michael Jordan. There's a whole bunch of other great players that LeBron James ain't even passed yet, but they try to tell you he's been past all these dudes. LeBron James ain't never gonna beat me and none of them dudes, man. Get the hell out of here. These championship nonsense. Wake me up when that dude's Finals MVP. Wake me up when LeBron James is going to teams and lifting teams up. Again, he's joining talent. Like John Stark said, man, he's joining the talent, man. Michael Jordan grew with players, got these players, molded them up, grew with them, man, established them guys. Man, come on, man, this is whack stuff from Charles Barkley, ESPN, and Duke. Yeah, man, yeah, he be the GOAT.
It's pretty weird. I mean, look, everybody sells out, but this is pretty disturbing to see Charles say things he knows isn't true.
It's disappointing too, AOH. It's like a gut punch. It's like losing someone to the other team.
Except that you saw it coming. It would hurt worse, except it's like I don't have any expectations for anyone anymore.
Yeah, you called that. I always thought Chuck would stay solid, and I'm gonna give him a little bit of grace in the sense that he didn't declare anything. He didn't stand on it. I think you could even kind of read the nervous energy in his response. So I think he's teetering a little bit.
I don't want to see LeBron James play 82 games. You show me you play 82 games. Go out there and give your effort. Go out there and bust your ass. I don't see you do none of that. Every season, we get the same damn thing. You get this from LeBron James. You get this look at his teammates. You get LeBron James standing there, not making rotations. You get LeBron James arguing with the referee while the play's going on. They're playing 4 and freaking 5. Same thing year after year after year after year. Oh, yeah, the Lakers are retooled. They're revamped. The season comes along. Oh, what are they going to do? LeBron James is carrying this team. He ain't got no help. Are you freaking kidding me? Over and over and over again. You got people out here cherry-picking videos of LeBron James thinking he can play defense. Man, this is asinine stuff from these people. I can't believe they're still trying to lie and still trying to back these weak narratives up with this. This is insane stuff.
Well, also, can I go again? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, look, if he wins 2 more, that still only ties him with as many as Jordan. So Barkley needs to explain how that's better than Jordan. And I guess he mentioned the age, that he's impressed about it at the age, but that's a compensation. You're not looking at a great player. You're not looking at someone who won for them. You're just saying, wow, well, it wasn't pretty, but he's 42, so I guess I have to be impressed. I mean, was he better than Michael Jordan's last finals appearance? No. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Who performed better? Not how old they were and how long they stayed out there while missing as many goddamn games as they feel like missing throughout the season.
Well, no, exactly. And it took Jordan 13 years to get 6. It's going to take, well, first of all, LeBron's not going to get 6. But let's just say that he does. It takes him 24. That's better? I'm supposed to be impressed by that?
Yeah, I don't know. It does not. It's... Here we are being duped into talking about something that's too stupid to talk about.
Well, I mean, that's a fair point.
You know, and Charles Barkley, when did LeBron James become 45 years old all of a sudden? See, this is the crap I'm talking about, man. They continue to do this nonsense with LeBron James, man. And like I said, man, I love Charles Barkley, but this dude's over here, like, yeah, if he wins 2 more championships at 44, 45 years old, dude, he's 41 right now. How did we get to 45 already? What the hell is going on here, man?
Do you play the Windhorse bit in this too, Siberius?
I don't have it.
Oh, okay. His bit was
that the goat argument being over bit?
Yeah.
AOH?
Oh, acting like he was upset that we were talking about how many rings it would take, and
that was weird. I did catch that.
Yeah, but he avoids talking about Kobe in that case, because if he wants to make a case, hey, you can't talk about it because everybody thinks Jordan's better than LeBron because he had 6. How are you guys not mentioning that we shouldn't even be talking about Jordan? We should be talking about LeBron hasn't caught Kobe yet.
I feel like that's been a consistent argument for the last decade, though. Maybe
who's
15
saying
years.
it? Who besides us?
That I'm saying he hasn't. Oh, I see what you're saying. Nobody. It is weird. He hasn't passed Kobe yet. Why are we having this Jordan conversation? They had
Kobe pass Jordan for about 1 year. They pushed that idea for about 1 year and then abandoned Kobe. But I remember they even tried to make Kobe better than Jordan.
Remember, it's 2 3-peats. 2 3-peats. Don't you clowns ever forget that out there. All you real LeBron James fans, all you fools out here trying to rewrite history, trying to act like the 90s was weak, blah, 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 blah. Michael Jordan wasn't this, Michael Jordan wasn't that. I lived through it, my man. I seen it with my own eyes. 2 3-peats. Don't you ever forget it. It ain't just 6 championships. It's 2 3-peats. It's how you went about it. Look at the dudes that was on that team that was playing significant minutes when it mattered most. The dudes that was on the court. This man was winning with people you never heard of. Dudes that was journeyman. We talked about this, man. And he went 3-0, 2 3-peats. Don't y'all forget that.
All right, real quick, while we have a pause in the conversation, I need to get to some of these supers because I don't want to get too far behind. Love them skins 1982. Keep doing God's work, guys. We appreciate that.
Awesome.
Yep.
Xavier to God coming through yet again. LeBron didn't have interest in Philly until Jaylen Brown. No interest in the Heat until Giannis. He wanted the Warriors to get AD. He wanted the Cavs to get Kyrie from the Mavs, and the Knicks rejected him.
But this was LeBron's choice. This was LeBron's choice.
Right.
It's not based on a series of rejections.
Not at all.
Shout out to Xavier to God.
Shout out to Xavier to God.
All right, LeBron winning a ring in Philly with this lineup adds to his legacy, like winning a 4th ring in 1997 in Chicago added to Robert Parrish's legacy.
Excellent. Very good.
At least Robert Parrish wasn't taking away from the team.
Absolutely. Shout
out. That's a net positive.
To Mike Novak. Great comments, guys. Thank you. Great comments.
All right. Xavier to God again. Realistically, Melo or Wade should have won number 1 or should have went number 1 in 03.
Melo should have won Rookie of the Year. Melo not winning Rookie of the Year is going to be one of the biggest robberies in the history of the sport. I remember that like it was yesterday. The Nuggets were nasty in a better conference, and Melo was just an automatic jumper from everywhere, not getting the foul calls, not getting all the revelry, not getting all the marketing. And then here comes LeBron, gets the Cavs a little bit ahead, and he gets Rookie of the Year with I think he only averaged more points, and I don't even remember what the difference was.
Like
it wasn't that big of a difference.
It was like half a point.
I think, yeah.
But hey, you bring up something else. You guys said, LeBron needs to win Finals MVP for these rings to matter. Well, guys, you want to get dark? Let's not limit what these people will do, because they've robbed plenty of people of deserving Finals MVPs in order to give them to LeBron James in the past. I mean, the Anthony Davis one was crazy.
Yeah.
So if you don't think, look, they're already taking away credit from these upcoming stars. Like, we're talking about LeBron winning, not Maxey winning, not Jaylen Brown winning somewhere else.
Right.
Or how about Embiid?
Why wouldn't they just continue to disrespect them all the way into the finals and say that LeBron's presence, even if LeBron doesn't play well, and everyone else does, they just turn around and be like, well, it was LeBron's presence that allowed this to happen, and therefore he gets Finals MVP.
Oh, they would
AOH,
absolutely do that.
What's weird about that though is this lineup that he's playing with. To me, this is like the least likely lineup of players that you would want to take credit away from. You know what I mean? Like Joel Embiid, when healthy, is a bucket, right? Tyrese Maxey, great guard. Jaylen Brown, like just a great ball player. So they're gonna have to work overtime to make it seem like he has anything to do with this team's success. It's not like there's a bunch of bums on this squad. You know what I mean? There's very little wiggle room for them to make an argument that's not airtight for him being a contributor to this team.
Yo, Jaylen Brown is a Finals MVP winner. Finals MVP winner. I don't think a lot of people realize that. When the Celtics won that championship, he won the Finals MVP. So this reminds us of Dwayne Wade. Wasn't Dwayne Wade a Finals MVP winner?
That's what I was going to say.
Joined Dwayne Wade. Yep. So he's joining Jaylen Brown just like he joined Dwayne Wade back in the day, except now LeBron James a little bit older. Let me ride the coattails of a young Dwayne Wade and an MVP winner in Joel Embiid and a young up-and-coming star in Tyrese Maxey. Isn't Tyrese Maxey kind of like a Kyrie Irving type of player? We all remember Kyrie Irving, what Kyrie Irving helped do for LeBron James, but people even forget about Kyrie Irving and the contributions he had. Because like you guys mentioned, being LeBron James' teammate don't get you anything.
It doesn't for sure. Let's get back to some of these supers. Again, I just don't want to get too far behind. Armando Ruiz, thanks for showing up. Listening to my old heroes flip-flop confirms we are living in a sports hell simulation. There's no other way to explain this buffoonery. I mean, it's getting harder and harder to explain that one day they have one take and the next day they have another.
Indeed.
Right, exactly. That's Armando Ruiz.
Shout out.
Always coming through.
Somebody want to read Volsky Chugs?
Go ahead, Speed.
Shout out to Volsky Chug. My favorite gathered together. SNFR, the most manly energy ever. AOH basketball guru. Speem, appreciate the insight and take. To last but not least, Siberius, the most. This is all true. Siberius, the most handsome and knowledgeable of them all. Much love and respect, guys. Shout out to Siberius. Hey, you're number one, bro. That's it.
I mean, saying the guy with brain damage is the most knowledgeable is crazy.
What is that? What is PLN? What currency is that? I assume it's not gems.
Is that Poland?
I don't know.
If anyone in the chat, I'd love to know. That's interesting.
But absolutely, I mean, thank you for the super Volsky.
Thank you.
Let's keep it going here. Xavier to God again. Kareem, Kobe, Magic, Duncan got more rings than LBJ.
Word for real.
Again, How are we talking about Jordan when he hasn't passed any of these other guys? How did he get to leapfrog everyone?
Right.
And how did he leapfrog them like 10 years ago?
Right.
That's Polish currency. Shout out to everyone who put that in the chat. Thank you.
Well,
and not for nothing, you know whose response is my favorite whenever someone's asked about the GOAT? Jordan's. His is the most classy and dignified response ever. It's a bad question. It's a stupid question. Like he handles it with as much class as you can, and everyone knows he's the GOAT. It's the definition of doing it without saying it. And I feel like that response doesn't get brought up enough, actually.
I agree. All right, Red Factor 216. The Bulls would have won the fourth straight title in 1999 if Krause didn't break them up.
Yep.
I mean, it's hard to dispute that. I mean, we'll never know, but I have no reason to doubt it.
Yep.
Right. And Michael Jordan just wanted the opportunity to come back. Remember, he wanted to lose. He wanted to play until they lost. He literally wanted to ride it until the wheels came off.
Yeah.
That's literally what he wanted to do. And they was like, nah, we tired of winning with y'all. We want to win our way. We want to win a different way. We want to win with somebody else. And you realize the Bulls ain't won a damn thing since. No. Not a damn thing.
Say, what's it been, 28 years?
Not a damn thing, Siberius.
They went to the conference finals with D Rose. They went to the conference finals with D Rose, and that was it.
I mean, they wouldn't keep together a cheap ass, mostly drafted team that was winning. But today, franchises sell their entire future each and every season in a desperate attempt to make LeBron James look better than he is. But the actual GOAT of basketball, they wouldn't even keep together their cheap ass team. There wasn't costing them shit. It was just Jerry Krause wanted to do it his way.
Just being a fat piece of shit.
Well, that's an excellent point.
Shots fired.
Hey.
Is that you? We can't say that.
I did a video where I was essentially breaking down the cost per championship between Jordan and LeBron. Each Bulls championship cost $15 million. For LeBron, the Lakers alone spent $379 million and got a bubble ring.
Damn.
Who got the better deal?
Can you give those numbers one more time, please?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, we're just talking about the superstars on the team. For each ring that Jordan won with the Bulls, they cost them $15 million. For LeBron, it cost them $379 million for one bubble ring.
And that's what I'm always
if you go back and you watch the video, I break it down like exactly how those numbers,
and that's just LeBron's teammates. That's not even LeBron's salary.
No, that's just LeBron's salary.
Oh, that's just LeBron's salary.
Yeah, that's just Jordan, and that's just LeBron.
So that's not taking into account all the help.
No.
Okay. So, you should on Sunday. You should bring us the total budget for each championship.
I was going to say I'll get into that and do team versus team, because I guarantee Jordan's doesn't go up that much.
No.
How many trillions is our nation in debt? How far in debt is the country? And this is what we're spending on that kind of investment?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Michael Jordan was giving you best bang for buck.
All right. Al Sabag, thank you so much for coming through. I don't understand these analysts. We all have eyes. We can see what LeBron has been doing, the colluding, the team hopping, with what his agent did to bring over AD and now his mega super team. They apparently can't see all of this shit. That's the thing that's crazy, is all of this is happening right before their eyes, and they're either pretending like they don't see it or they genuinely don't. I mean, there's no way they don't see it. I can't even say that. They absolutely see it, and they're just ignoring the truth before their eyes.
Which is worse, Siberius, which is worse. They know that they're part of the problem, or they're too stupid to realize that they're part of the problem, which is worse.
I told you, disingenuous, man. Disingenuous.
That's a good question.
You know, it's interesting when you talk about if they can see it or can't see it. And in my breakdown of LeBron getting swept yet again, I said, please explain to me how what I just showed you isn't real or isn't true. And, you know, it's just the emotional arguments of being a hater or treasonous or, you know, whatever causes you not to be allowed to criticize anyone. And, like, it would have been refreshing if at least one person tried to say, no, that wasn't LeBron's fault that they got scored on there. I mean, not one play was refuted. Not one fucking play was refuted. Like, LeBron James cost them on one end and didn't bring anything at the other end. And no one could refute a fucking single bit of it. And yet here we are, even with the Philly sports radio saying, well, LeBron just knows how to win. LeBron makes the right decisions, and he's going to bring that winning element. All these generic terms that don't fucking add up to reality. And yet they're saying it, which I guess I'm jumping the gun. We're going to get to this today, right, Speem? The disappointment in Philly and Philly's mayor. And I don't know. Is there an embrace of LeBron James, or is that all fake?
I think we can wait to get to that, because I think it's a great question. I think we should wait to get to that one.
Okay.
All right. Xavier DeGod come through again. Kareem is still the oldest finals MVP to this day.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Black Sigma. Will Jaylen Brown speak his mind on his podcast about the 76ers like he did Boston and tell the truth, or lie for LeBron?
Ooh, great question.
Good question.
Yeah. We already know.
Let me field that one real quick because I talked about this on our last show. I think one of the most interesting dynamics of this team is that, you know, Jaylen Brown, he is an intellectual and he should be the leader of that team. He won't be, unfortunately, but he should be. I think it's going to be really interesting seeing the two of them bounce off of each other, one being the dumbest person in the room and the other person potentially being the smartest person in the room. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how their politics shift and mold as the team either does really well or starts to lose. I mean, Jaylen Brown's maybe the most outspoken player in the league, and he does know what he's talking about. And I think it's something to look out. It's going to screw up the chemistry. Not to mention Jaylen Brown's an anti-Nike guy. And LeBron's Mr. Nike. They're gonna be butting heads, not just on the court, but off the court as well. Jaylen Brown is very pro-African American, and you know, LeBron James is like the Antichrist for Black people. So it's gonna be really interesting seeing how those two things clash, because what Jaylen Brown does out there in the streets for Black people is all the stuff that LeBron James talks about doing but never does. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see those two go back and forth.
But keep in mind that Jaylen Brown did not say anything wrong. He didn't even say anything disrespectful. He had a private conversation with the person next to him, observing how good or not good Bronny James was. And when Clutch Sports called for an apology, he apologized, even though there was nothing to apologize for. So does that give you a warning?
Well, I think it's interesting what Steve brings up. And I think that, you know, this is where Jaylen Brown's integrity will come into question. Because again, no one expects you to maybe try to embarrass LeBron James on the court in front of the whole world. But behind the scenes, in the locker room, in the huddle, are you guys going to call LeBron James out for making you play 4 and 5? Because you know it's going to happen at least one time this season, man. It's going to happen. They're all going to be standing there, wonder where LeBron James is. Airways is going to have the video footage out there. We're going to be putting it down in slow motion. You're going to see LeBron James doing those things. So Jaylen Brown, who wants to be known as a man of integrity, a man of honor, are you going to go to LeBron James in the locker room and be like, yo, my man, you got to start hustling back on D, man. You can't be out here having us play on 4 and 5, man. Are you guys going to challenge him and maybe make sure that he's doing the things that are going to help you guys win a championship? Because that's going to be the ultimate problem for someone like Jaylen Brown. When you see the things you brought up about Jaylen Brown, him being an outspoken guy, are you going to be outspoken against LeBron James? Are you going to go to LeBron James and tell him to start getting down the damn court? You better start sliding your feet over on help defense. Don't we start doing some Kyle Kuzma stuff, pushing LeBron James in the back to make rotations out there? So again, are you guys going to go to LeBron James, like I said, behind the scenes and call him out when he's not doing those things? Remember also, Jaylen Brown was calling out Joel Embiid for being a flopper this offseason when he was doing his little computer screen things, when he was doing all these live shows and all these things he was doing, acting like a weirdo. He was calling Joel Embiid out. So the whole dynamic on the team is going to be very interesting. Let's not also forget, the GM is Daryl Morey, the same guy LeBron James told the show about China. He said that, hey, man, you don't know what you're talking about, so you shouldn't speak. Daryl Morey's the GM of that team. So what's LeBron James and Daryl Morey's relationship looking like? Is he going to tell Daryl Morey to shut the hell up still?
Please.
Great point, Robin.
You pointed out some great potential conflicts, but some other people have been pointing out there's like 6 Clutch clients on that team, including the coach. If the coach is represented by Clutch, that's kind of going to dictate how everyone else behaves.
Yeah.
Can you explain
exactly
how do you what do you mean? Because you're that's assuming
the
coach
team
will
goes
have
downhill.
Okay, nobody's allowed to stand up to LeBron James. Ham tried to limit his minutes and got fired, even though limiting his minutes was exactly what was needed. JJ Redick, under JJ Redick's time, they celebrate that LeBron James took a 3rd place, and it was a good thing, but Darrell Ham wasn't allowed to do it. However, JJ Redick is obviously in the LeBron James favors camp. Now, if you have a coach who is a part of Clutch, and Clutch is about the LeBron James image and creating this false LeBron James image, everyone else is going to be required to fall into line and sacrifice their own careers and shut their mouths lest they be punished.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said Morey's out.
Oh.
I'm trying to find the comment here.
Well, that makes more sense.
So yeah, it looks like Maury is out. Elton Brand is the GM. I mean, I'm not sure, what that'll change, but I didn't know that. Anyway, I was going to say let's continue on with the supers. Want to make sure I get through these.
Okay.
Xavier to God, Shaq, Curry, and LeBron are all time with 4 rings. Huh. All right, Mike Novak coming through again. If Jordan wanted to chase rings in his 40s, he would have easily replaced Rick Fox as small forward on the 2000-2002 Lakers.
Yeah.
And this discussion isn't even happening. MJ, but is a real competitor.
So supposedly, Phil Jackson tried to recruit MJ, and MJ stuck to his previous commitment of the Wizards. I don't know how much of a temptation it was for Jordan. My take on it was that they didn't even think like that back then. I think it was an experiment for Jordan to show that he just loved the game and wanted to be a mentor to a team. Also, he had the ownership stake.
Well, right.
But yes, absolutely. How easy is it? I mean, forget the ifs. Well, we're not forgetting the ifs because I'm focusing on an if.
Hoops are coming through.
If LeBron had been on that team, if Jordan had been on that team, Jordan would have been bored at how easy the path to getting the ring was.
Yeah.
He would have retired out of boredom.
Yeah. All right. Love them skins. Real Philly fans don't want him. I was one of them. I mean, why would you? Like, I think it's crazy that, and we're about to get to it soon, but that there's been any praise for LeBron coming to Philly. Love them skins again, coming through with 250 jewels. Thank you.
Dropping jewels. Once again, shout out to Love Them Skins.
All right. Black Sigma coming through again. Does anyone have a pic of LeBron and Shaq when Shaq said he wants to win a ring with LeBron and tell LeBron the chickens will come home to roost? I don't have a picture of that. I can probably find one for another show.
Remember, Shaquille O'Neal was playing with LeBron James back in his first stint in Cleveland, and Shaquille O'Neal was trying to get a ring for the king. Remember, that was Shaquille O'Neal's slogan for LeBron James when they hooked up. We're trying to get a ring for the king. And, of course, it did not work out. Even though LeBron James teams were the heavy favorites in these scenarios, LeBron James himself continued to sabotage his own teams because we talked about how he never made the players around him better, never maximized these guys. That's why they continue to blame these guys. They'll always tell you about the names on the back of the jersey for LeBron James teammates to make them appear lesser than, instead of looking at what the teammates were actually doing on the basketball court for LeBron James. All right, but they never want to talk about those things, man.
No, they had Anton Jameson too, and he was a great player, but because of being on that team, now everybody thinks he sucked.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, how many times have we seen it?
How many times have we seen
being a bum?
How many times have we seen great players get turned into bums playing with LeBron? And how many times have we seen people that you never fucking heard of before turn into over celebrated players thanks to Michael Jordan?
Right.
Huh?
Did Moses Malone join Michael Jordan in the early 90s before they won? It was like, hey, man, we're going to get the ring for Michael Jordan. We're going to help Michael Jordan get this ring. Get him over the hump. No, but that was Shaquille O'Neal at the end of his career, man, trying to get a ring for the king, out there promoting and trying to help LeBron. Everybody was trying to help LeBron James. All of a sudden now they're trying to rewrite the history. Oh, man, LeBron James had all the pressure. They didn't do nothing for him in Cleveland. The ownership sucked. They weren't doing nothing for him. Everybody was trying to help LeBron James. When Wallace was on those teams in the early 2000, early part of LeBron James in that first stint in Cleveland, they were getting all kinds of guys out there. Carlos Boozer. They tried to get dudes for LeBron James. People were trying to help LeBron James, but he didn't want to help them help him.
No. Jeremy Jones coming through with the super. How many three-peats for LeBron? Not one. Yeah, you get the point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure.
He's got a imaginary three-peats.
Somebody want to read Johnny Mac 23s?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll read it. I'll read it.
Oh.
I'll read it. You took too long. Shout out to Johnny Mac 23 with the $20. It's funny that Kobe can't be in the GOAT debate because he played with Shaq, but LeBron can collude and run to other great players and be in the GOAT debate. By the way, Sports and Fitness Rants, did you see Chilltown diss Charles?
Oh, no, I did not see that. I saw something else from Uncut Hoops in the chat. He asked me about Chilltown Hoops. If I saw a video that he did talking about some Charles Barkley comments or talking about Charles Barkley and the LeBron James stuff, comparing LeBron James and Charles Barkley. But yeah, I didn't see this. The Chilltown Hoops, this Dreamers Pro, I guess.
All right, love them skins. Nick Nurse is JJ Redick 2.0. Interesting. I'm not very familiar with Nick Nurse.
I haven't heard JJ Redick's name come up too often at all. As a matter of fact, over the last 6 months, Mr. Greatest Western Coast or Western Conference coach of all time.
Oh yeah,
he hasn't been brought up too much in the press recently. I just realized that actually.
Very true.
Yeah, Nick Nurse was the coach of the Raptors when they won in 2019. But that's what his claim to fame is, and that's essentially where he made his name. So like I said, so if he's gonna come out there, if he's part of Clutch, I think I heard you guys say that. So someone was saying that he's part of the Clutch payroll for the people on the team. It's really gonna be interesting again, because I don't know if you guys saw, but I talked in a video earlier about them talking about possibly having LeBron James as their starting point guard. So if LeBron James is going to be the starting point guard for the Sixers for this season, you have to be an extension of the head coach. You and the coach got to be on the same page. The coach can't be calling you and you're standing on the other side of the court and you're not even paying attention to the coach. We all remember that interaction with JJ Redick. I've never seen that before in my life, but that's LeBron James doing his nonsensical stuff. So is he going to do that with Nick Nurse?
Probably. Real quick, last super that I have here. Looks like two more. Xavier to God, LBJ first to Kobe's team, now with the city he was born in.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Very true. I think it's Lower Marion, not exactly Philly, but close enough. Close enough to call him a follower.
Mr. Axel 9476. LeBron will be a turnover machine or M Macho at this point. I mean, he's going to be, especially if he's playing point guard. His turnovers are just going to be completely out of control.
Yep, that's a great
I've heard this ludicrous rumor that they're going to list him at 6'11" this season.
That's crazy.
I'm dead serious. I saw that the other day.
That's not even worth mentioning. Why would they do that?
And they lied about Bronny's height. He went from 6'4" to 6'1" overnight.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the Kobe Bryant disrespect continues. Steam, I was going to let you take point on that because you made a really great video about it.
Oh, hold on. Do I have that picture? Yeah, no. So I don't know if you guys have caught this, but Shams was on the Pat McAfee show talking about, LeBron might live in New York, and if he travels, he'll travel to the games. But he was very specific by saying he could travel by helicopter. And I mentioned this in the video. Immediately, you call attention to the word helicopter, and you have to think, like, is a human being despicable enough to do something intentionally like that? But then you remember it's Clutch, and it's ESPN, and it's LeBron. It's very directed. Saying that he could travel to and from the games by helicopter, because as soon as you go into any of these social media platforms, it's immediately met with, don't do that. That's how Kobe passed. R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Bean. Siberius, I think you pointed out one of the comments that said, well, LeBron would have survived the helicopter, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it's these guys just seem to outdo themselves being despicable every single day. And I just wanted to call attention to it because it's gross now, and it's very surprising that a Vanessa Bryant or anybody from Kobe's camp or family would come out and say, you're using my late husband's name in your mouth to just not only profit financially, but also emotionally. Because there's in the history of the NBA, when have we ever talked about an individual's travel itinerary? Ever? right? It's always about the team and how they're getting there. But Shams, it's ugly. Specifically mentioning that he's going to go by copter. I understand you're not standing on it. I understand you're not declaring it, but you're putting it out there, and now you're profiting off of people's feelings. And I'm not going to care more that he's going by helicopter. Don't get me wrong. I don't care at all. But there are fans that are going to use that, and it's weird. It's actually disappointing from them on a human being level. I just wanted to call attention to it and see if anybody else had caught on to this, because they've been putting his name through the mud for however long. I mean, really since his passing.
Well, one thing that I thought was disgusting about mentioning the helicopter is it added nothing to the story. Why are you shoehorning that in? It wasn't relevant in any way. Like you said, we've never discussed a player's itinerary before, and we certainly haven't discussed how the fuck they're going to get there. Like, are they going to take a train, a horse and carriage? What the fuck does it matter?
Exactly.
So why are you putting that in there? If you did it, it's intentional. And that's what makes it disgusting.
My first thought, or my first reaction to hearing this, I didn't hear this, that he was going to possibly be taking a helicopter.
Check my video, Robin. Check my video.
My bad. My first thought, though, by hearing this, is how is this figuring into the camaraderie of the team? How is this figuring into you getting to practice, you really developing some cohesion and camaraderie with your team every day? If you're taking helicopter, like how easy is it for you to take a helicopter wherever you want? It can't be that simple. There's got to be ways that you have to schedule these flights. I mean, air traffic and all these kinds of, you can't just be flying all over the damn place. So, exactly how is this going to work? Are you going to be flying by yourself on this? How big is your helicopter? Is the whole team rolling with you? Because this, to me, once again, how is this making you fit in with your team? How is this helping you with your team, building up with your team, when you're the guy that waiting? We got to wait for LeBron to land before we go out there. We waiting for him to drop down the helipad. He had a little problem landing because there was some traffic up there in the sky. He didn't get his clearance right away. How is this going to work with those kinds of scenarios? Because, again, you're so special that you're traveling by freaking helicopter. Again, man, this is weird stuff. I want to go back to Michael Jordan, man. In that whole 30 for 30, Michael Jordan rides the bus. Did Michael Jordan fly on helicopters? Did Michael Jordan fly or come through on those private limos and have his own van or his own bus? No, he traveled in the same manner that the entire team traveled, on these crummy, broken down buses. He stayed in the same hotel. How were the pillows that Michael Jordan was laying on when he was trying to go out there and play baseball all those years? So again, man, people want to talk about this nonsense and LeBron James flying a helicopter. Like I said, how is that helping you and your teammates? This is weird stuff, man.
Yeah, I was split. I immediately thought what Robin was thinking about how is this going to affect practices, or is he back to I don't practice with the team? But and it's amazing that they'll talk about his leadership when the motherfucker won't even practice with the team. What world are we living in? Which brings me to the other side of it, the disgusting disrespect and like that comment about LeBron would have survived a helicopter crash. That's so gross on so many levels, but not to mention it's also LeBron James, the guy who looks like he's been killed by non-existent contact in every game. You're giving credit of being a superhuman.
Right.
But exactly.
But dude, here's the darkest take of my dark takes. Just what Speen said about somebody speak up. There is no decency out there. Vanessa Bryant shouldn't have to speak up. Other people should have already spoken up and brought this to an end. Though it sucks out there. If Vanessa Bryant did voice her opinion, she'd end up getting annihilated by pieces of shit like Stephen A. Smith, even though she's completely right. We live in a world where people are saying things like this that they should never get away with saying. Yeah. Rich Paul saying that Kobe Bryant would be proud of LeBron going to the Sixers and that it's competitive when that's exactly the opposite of Kobe Bryant's mentality. How the fuck are these people being allowed to continue existing?
Like the U.S. Special Forces or something? He's traveling by helicopter? What are you, Navy freaking SEAL? Those are the only guys that travel by helicopter all the damn time? Well, this is weird stuff, man.
Well, also, AOH, something
she should not have to speak up. the world should be decent enough that there are men out there that shut Rich Paul and LeBron James the fuck up so that she doesn't have to defend her late husband being disrespected. That's a desperation level when the wife has to come out and say, yo, could you all just stop dancing on my husband's grave? Why should anyone why should anyone have to say that?
That's true.
Not for nothing, AOH. Vanessa Bryant's also the key spokesperson for the Kobe Nike line. So part of me also thinks that it's a business tactic, unfortunately, just to speak to kind of just the ill will of people. You can't sell Nike sneakers if you are going back and forth with their prime time, LeBron James #1 person. You know what I mean? So I think it's a business decision as well. She is the one who hawks Kobe sneakers. Well, there is no limit, right? Like we know that.
Yeah, right.
But I think that part of it's a business decision as well.
Well, that's even darker than what I said.
Yeah.
I was in a helicopter multiple times when I was in the military during my time, and I did not enjoy any of the times that I was in a helicopter, guys. So again, man, these is not fun places to be, man. A helicopter is not a fun experience in my experience. Once again, I know LeBron James ain't going to be traveling the same helicopters I was rolling.
Right. Man, these supers keep rolling in. I just don't want to get behind on them again. Last time we ended up going like an hour and a half before I shouted them out, and I don't want to do that again. All right, Stebby J. It would take MJ one time to switch teams, and he would have more than 6 rings. Easily.
Exactly. Yo, shout out to Stebby J again, always coming through.
All right, M. Hunter Stevie. Listen, guys, let me join your panel. I'll take a vet's minimum. I'll sit there silently and then declare myself the GOAT because Speem said something smart. I'm the LeBron James.
Well, first, M. Hunter, you need to go out there and claim that everyone else wanted you first. And then when we take you, you can say that we were your first choice.
Yo, shout out to M. Hunter Stevie. That's a great one.
Oh, man. All right. Top Dog 2916. How come Curry's 2022 ring doesn't get more love than LeBron's bubble title?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
It is. Absolutely.
The league hates Steph Curry. They don't want him to win. Yeah. I mean, that's the long and short of it. Yeah, Draymond Green getting a $27 million contract or whatever he got is proof that they don't want him to win. They don't want Steph Curry to win.
Yeah, I mean, that ring right there hurt a lot of legacies. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, that really made, someone like Kevin Durant look even worse when we talk about some of these guys and how they're going to be remembered down the road. And they don't promote Steph Curry. We've talked about a lot of this stuff. They never want Steph Curry to have any help. They always talk about LeBron James needs more help. They never talk about Steph Curry needs help. But what the Warriors haven't done for them, AOH, he knows the deal.
Yep.
All too well.
All right. Johnny Mac 23 coming through again. Thank you, sir. I've literally seen LeBron fans celebrate Kobe's death, saying it was karma for those rape allegations, which is false. Fucking hell.
That's crazy, man.
I never heard
that.
It's
them
before.
Same dudes that'll say his sons were crack. It's them same people that say his father died because Jordan's father died because of him, or that his kids are meth heads. It's them same people that say that stuff. But the second AOH says, well, LeBron's ugly. Well, how dare you say that? How can you say that? He's a great father. He's a great family man. You can't have it both ways. It's weird.
Titan Long 3776 gifted Angry Old Hoops 5 memberships.
Cool, thank you.
Volsky Chug coming through again. When I grow up, 38-year-old Maya, I wish to have the same energy levels as Sports and Fitness Rants. And Siberius is the most knowledgeable experience-wise. Don't mind the brain situation. The message is the most important. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that. I'm too stupid.
Twilight season.
Okay. When he beat the Rockets, they were the worst team out of the top 6 in the Western Conference Finals, with or without KD, and their best player was Sengun.
Alpert Sengun. I can't stand that man.
I mean, can anybody?
Dude makes my skin crawl.
Can anybody stand him?
No. And he wears long shoes.
Soft ass tall guy. LeBron put him in his place though. It was a good one.
Yep.
It was a good one.
Check.
That was fucking brilliant.
A good one. It was a good one.
What a clown. LeBron should stop existing for that alone.
Seriously.
It was a good one.
Hold on.
Right,
hold on.
hold
I got to talk about the Rockets real quick. Remember, LeBron James led that the Lakers past the Rockets with 2 back-to-back 8 turnover games.
Yep.
And I also want to I can't help but point out Luke Kennard and Marcus Smart are both have bigger contracts than LeBron James right now.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Wow. Okay, Terrence Potts coming through. Do you guys remember the Nike helicopter commercial with Kobe? The helicopter crashed on the court. His rings landed on the court after the crash.
No.
I never saw that.
I did not know that was a thing.
See, now we get in the weeds right now.
Wow. What?
That's some crazy stuff right there, man. That's nuts.
What year?
Once we move on to the next topic, I was going to say I'll look that up and see if I can find something about it and put it on the screen. Because
I feel like that would have made like national news if that was if that actually happened. I'm not saying it didn't, but that's despicable. I mean, despicable's word of the day. I don't know about that one.
Thanks for ruining Siberius's attempt to move off the subject smoothly. Go ahead, move, Siberius.
Go ahead, Siberius.
Johnny Mac 23 coming through yet again. Thank you, sir. This is where I'm disappointed in Shaq, Kareem, and Magic. Where are they at checking bitch Paul when he would never say that if Kobe was alive? None of these motherfuckers would be saying this stuff if Kobe was alive. And the reason why I know that is because they didn't say any of this when he was alive. They don't have the balls to stand their ground and face him head on because they know that Kobe would come at them. They can say it now that he's dead and especially because nobody has any balls or pushback to anything anyone says. There's no consequence or repercussion. So they're just going to continue to tear him down. And the sad part is the longer he's gone, the worse it's going to get. It's not going to improve over time.
That's what bullies do, Siberius. That's what makes this whole thing so fucking frustrating. Shout out to whoever said Alpert Sengun has a weird long back also. But he's a prime example. He'll get bullied by LeBron and his team. They bully like people, unfortunately, that aren't here anymore, and then weak people. So obviously they wouldn't say anything to him while he was alive. Most of this, I have to say, most of this stuff probably wouldn't even be happening, rest in peace, if Kobe was still alive. We wouldn't be having these conversations.
I agree. Twilight Zone points out that his handle is Twilight Zone abbreviated. I told you I was dumb. You people didn't believe me. All right, Ken's 5258. I'm not happy with the move, but the star players on the Sixers actually recruited LeBron. So if they do win the chip and get no credit for it, good. I agree with that. First of all, I don't really like any of those players on that team, especially because none of them play consistent basketball. So I have a hard time respecting them. But I mean, they're not going to win. But if they do and they don't get credit, I don't care. It changes nothing in my mind.
I'm not even aware of that. That didn't make very much news. Like, was it pretty clear that they were recruiting him?
I mean, I don't know. I try not to pay attention to that nonsense, honestly.
Okay.
I saw an article, that they had reached out to LeBron. I mean, listen, let's remember that Jaylen Brown has a special bond with LeBron James, not only because of the, interaction or the thing with, his son, LeBron James Jr., but also with the hair. Let's not forget when Jaylen Brown called LeBron James up on the phone and put him on speaker and left a message for LeBron James to get back to him about the product he uses for his hair. Because remember, Jaylen Brown was leaving streaks all over players' jerseys up and down the NBA basketball courts. So, these are the kinds of things that we're talking about. These guys have these weird relationships. Like I said, I'm sure they call LeBron James for tips on how to dress, and what sandals to wear and what bags to match, with their belts. These guys are a bunch of weirdos, man, all right? So you never know what kind of personal relationship they have with these dudes and how they really look at LeBron James.
Crazy. All right. Mondo Ruiz coming through yet again. Thank you, sir. Let's crowdfund a doc exposing LeBron's myth, media-made narratives, and revisionist history. Who's ready to help? I'm not joking. Hashtag the forever lie.
Exactly.
I'll contribute to it.
Oh, my goodness. Tell you, man,
all right. J. Michael 4770 coming through. Does a great family man with tens of millions fail to protect his mom from herself and still allow Delonte West to enter her? Damn.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Oh, yeah, that was another thing. That was another point with the helicopter. How is that going to increase the amount of time he spends with his family if he's commuting in addition to still playing basketball?
Oh, my goodness gracious, man.
It didn't take Delonte West too long to be blackballed from the league after that happened, by the way. He ended up being drugged out, outside of a gas station not that much longer after that whole thing took place.
Yeah, that should be investigated.
Oh, absolutely.
LeBron James going to be leaving the games like a super villain, like leaving by helicopter.
AOH, you want to read Johnny Mac 23's super, and then we're caught up here?
It's funny that LeSus fans attack Kobe and MJ, and both of them are black, but LeBron has the same skin color, but he's off limits. Yeah. Yeah.
That's called hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, that's called. That's what LeBron James fan base is all about. Hypocrisy. That's what a lot of these guys' comments come down to. The hypocrites, the contradictions. It's a continuous thing. These guys are consistently inconsistent. I mean, just thinking just about some of the comments that you hear from these guys from one week to the next. It's laughable stuff, man. Listen, you want to have an opinion on something that maybe I don't agree with? Stand on your opinion. Why can't you guys just be consistent? Every time you guys are speaking, it doesn't make any sense. If this, if that, woulda, coulda, shoulda, this. I mean, weird stuff.
It does. It doesn't make any sense. All right. As much as I did not want to touch on this because I find it so completely abhorrent. Governor declares LeBron James Day after shock move to Philadelphia 76ers. And because I don't want to stare at his stupid face, I made this so we can look at it instead.
Is that real? Is that real, Siberius? Are they really doing this?
It is real. It is July 24th, 2026 is LeBron James Day in Philadelphia.
I have the quote in front of me. I can read it verbatim. It's pretty sickening.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Please do, Speen.
So Governor Josh Shapiro, and this is my state, so it's a disgrace. In all caps, LeBron is coming to Philly by the power vested in me as the governor of the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and a diehard Sixers fan. I hereby proclaim today to be LeBron James Day. Welcome to the city of brotherly love. There's a whole proclamation by the governor, document, and everything.
I'm done.
They do have a statue of a fictitious boxer. So I guess I can't.
Don't you dare come down on Rocky Balboa. You better watch your mouth when you talk about Rocky. Don't you dare bring up Rocky Balboa. Don't do it.
That's the Philly hate in me. Forgive me. So this isn't too off-brand for them, but it is despicable.
So I looked up the commercial, by the way. It exists. It was from 2011.
Yikes!
And it had Kanye West in it. It was a Nike commercial.
Oh,
this is a helicopter commercial.
Yeah, Kobe wasn't in it. He threw a basketball with a bomb inside of it at a helicopter.
Damn!
Wow.
I didn't see the rings come crashing down to the court part. Okay, move on. But it does exist.
Yeah. That's crazy. I had never seen that before. I mean, I didn't necessarily want to touch too much on this. The fact that I even acknowledged it kind of disgusts me that it's even a thing and that we're paying it any attention. But it's pretty disgusting.
So there'd be like an Allen Iverson Day. Wouldn't you think there'd be an Allen Iverson Day in Philly before there'd be a LeBron James Day in Philly? Right? I mean, that's weird to me.
How the hell did the man get a day? He didn't do a damn thing. He hasn't done a damn thing for Philadelphia. He ain't done a damn thing for Pennsylvania. And y'all made a day for LeBron James. Like I said, I've lost all respect for Philadelphia, man. I can't believe y'all going down this route. The governor has lost his damn mind. This is the governor of Pennsylvania? What the hell are we doing, dude? I don't even know nothing about that fool. I don't even have to know nothing about him. All I need to know is you name the day for a dude that don't even do nothing for your city. Hasn't done a damn thing for y'all.
That makes a little sense that you got to imagine that there's other stuff going on behind the scenes. Like, he's probably not even a basketball fan, and if he was, he would know not to celebrate. Does Chicago even have a Michael Jordan Day? I mean, when you mentioned why doesn't Philly have Allen Iverson Day? Like, since when do people have to start making days named after people? It's just over and over and over again. More bullshit.
From the time they have to put bullshit patches on their jerseys.
Yep. Amen.
About their accomplishments.
They gonna give him a street sign?
Which is just embarrassing.
They gonna give him a key to the city now? I tell you right now, whoever the next governor comes in, he better renege that thing. He better take it away. Somebody better slide it on his desk. Hey, sir, you gotta take a look at this right here. But what the hell is this nonsense? LeBron James, how dare you call yourself a Philadelphia Sixers fan? This dude sounds a diehard Sixers fan. The hell you are.
That was a pretty solid reenactment, Robin. I felt like I was there. Thank you.
All right. So the next topic is all we ever do is talk about LeBron, sure, but at least our content isn't manufactured. Speem, so this was one of your contributions or things that you wanted added. So
yeah, well, I brought it up. Oh yeah, shout out to Zay. I brought it up because you mentioned this in your most recent video. We're consistently told this is all we talk about, but at least the nature of what we're talking about isn't fed by some, hype machine. That the scariest part is there's billions and trillions of dollars behind this marketing machine, and yet there's still a significant amount of the population that still understands how much bullshit it is. We're not financially backed, and we're still trying to put the truth out there. I just wanted to give you credit, Siberius, because to your point, what we're saying, it's an organic response to the content that we're being inundated with every single day. You want us to talk about something other than LeBron James, then maybe ESPN should talk about something other than LeBron James. Maybe the NBA should talk about something other than LeBron James. It's just a reaction to the content that we're given. So that always frustrates me. And I just wanted to give you credit for pointing that out, that at least what we're putting out it's not made up. It's not manufactured. It's an actual legitimate response.
Well, that's one thing that always kills me, especially, because we all get fanboys coming into our comment section and, they always call us haters or, go down the LeBron fanboy excuse checklist and just start checking them off. But as I pointed out in my video where I said this, I watch a lot of basketball content creators. I've never heard one of them lie about LeBron. So just because they don't like what they say, I mean, they have to dismiss it. They have to try to steal the weight from it. But we're not manufacturing lies. They're the ones manufacturing lies. How did we become the assholes? They can't come to one of our videos. They can't come to one of our channels and say, oh, well, you said this and that isn't true. You just said that to make LeBron look bad. That's never happened.
Nope.
Now, everything you just said is on point, but there's another element to it. They simultaneously are dragging Michael Jordan's name through the mud on all of their channels. So they're using somebody else's name who's been retired for 30 plus years while saying to us, what are you going to do when he retires? What are you motherfuckers going to do when he retires? And when are you going to shut up about Michael Jordan? And again, they manufacture lies about Michael Jordan and they manufacture lies about LeBron James. Both angles that they are coming from are fictitious. At least ours are honest. Again, please go to my game breakdowns and show me which play I pointed out was not, in fact, LeBron James's fault.
For sure.
Right. Exactly. It's always going to be about the narratives, man. It's always going to be about the lies. They continue to lie. They continue to promote this clown, through these narratives. That's what it's always going to be about. We're going to sit there register you fools. That's why, once again, that's why these people get upset. That's why they've overused the word hater, because they've lost, right? They've lost the ability to come back and really think about it. They can never dispute this stuff. It's never disputed. You can cannot dispute the facts. I keep telling people you can't dispute the facts. That's why they go to the albeit hater. Hey, man, y'all just hate on LeBron James, man. All you guys talk about LeBron James. No, you guys continue to talk about Michael Jordan, the other eras. And again, you guys continue to lie about these guys and talk about them in a negative way. You're not promoting them. You're not lifting up the NBA. And you continue to prove you don't even know what you're talking about. If you guys were being accurate and you were just giving your opinion off the facts, they can't even do that for you. So what you get now is a lot of these guys out here giving you half truths. Nick Wright has made millions of dollars. Millions of dollars, Nick Wright. Are you guys millionaires? I'm not a millionaire. You guys hiding some money that I don't know about. You guys are living and balling out, man. You guys are making millions of dollars on YouTube, man. So again, Nick Wright's made millions and millions of dollars lying. Does anyone believe that Nick Wright is giving you 100% facts? Does anyone believe that Nick Wright knows basketball before 2010? This man doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. Anytime you hear Nick Wright try to talk about the 90s, he sounds completely lost. Whenever you hear a lot of these other LeBron James channels try to talk about the 90s, let alone the 50s or the 60s, they're not even qualified to talk about those eras. When you hear them talk about the 90s, they are lost. They have no idea who those guys were. They don't know who the role players were. They don't know how these guys played their games. They don't know about the specialists. They don't know about the head coaches that played in that era. They don't even know who the damn announcers were and how they actually pushed the game forward, how they actually educated us on the game. I ain't lied not near one time about LeBron James on my channel. I got over 3,000 freaking videos, man. You tell me where I lied out here. I ain't lied about nothing. I don't got to lie about LeBron James. I don't got to lie about Michael Jordan. But that's what we're getting out here now, the lies and the narratives.
Well, that's what I think is funny is we don't have to lie. Every bad thing that LeBron has done, it kind of makes me think about Pippen in The Last Dance. Nobody said anything negative about Pippen that he didn't do. Why are you getting mad? Why all of a sudden are you now hating on Jordan? Just because he highlighted all of the negative things that you did in your career while on his team. You don't get to act like he did you wrong. And now, and everybody acts the same way about LeBron. We're just pointing out what he did. We're not manufacturing it. It's not made up.
Exactly.
It's just disgusting.
Exactly. And remember, Scottie Pippen has been lying. He's one of the guys that we've been talking about. You know how many Scottie Pippen videos I got? I got a lot of Scottie Pippen videos, a lot of comments that Scottie Pippen's made over the last several seasons, last several years, that Scottie Pippen's lied and come out here with these weird narratives about what he was doing versus Michael Jordan, about what he meant to the Bulls. Dude, where do you think we were? The arenas was packed. Everybody was watching you fools. What are you talking about, man? You're going to come out all these years later like y'all was playing in an empty gym, like y'all wasn't on TV every day? Dude, we saw the games, man. Don't tell me about how Michael Jordan treated you when we watched how he treated you on the basketball court. Don't tell me about what Michael Jordan didn't say or didn't say about you when we hear the audio of what Michael Jordan did say about you. This dude's always giving you props. He was always giving you shine.
And also, as we saw in The Last Dance, he was giving you credit for shit you didn't do.
Exactly.
That whole line about, Pippen locking down Magic has been, debunked 100 times over. But he left it in because it made you look good.
Also, shout out to Gino.
Career, but he's not.
Shout out to Gino Panzini 8135. I was thinking this the entire time. Pippen's still bitter that Jordan's son was getting a piece of his ex's wife. It's hard to take a man's. You can't take him serious when you have a conflict of interest like that. So I just wanted to point that out. That was a good comment. Pippen's been moving real greasy in the streets for a long time now. He's another one of these athletes who has to deal with the public embarrassment from an ex-spouse. And I think, he's still kind of lashing out.
That's true. All right. So the last topic that we have here, at least that's on the agenda, doesn't mean we have to stop. LeBron's media team does seem like they are given monthly rhetoric. I think, Speem, you were pointing this out because I had made that that comment in my Fanboy Said What video. Yep. And the reason why I said it is because I don't believe in coincidence. How are individuals in entirely different parts of the world using the exact same words to comment. People's brains don't all work the same. So it genuinely feels like to me, I don't know if they're bots. Hopefully they're bots, because if they are actual individual people that are capable of their own independent thought and they've been indoctrinated with all of this bullshit that they use the same verbiage, I don't understand that. But they constantly say, I mean, it's why they all use the word hater. It's why, I mean, they just all have the same talking points constantly. They never bring anything new to the table. Like Robin pointed out, they're not disputing what we said. They can't refute any of it because it's all facts, but I just don't get it, because it's just the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think the most oh yeah, okay, cool, thank you. I think one of the most glaring examples of this, Siberius, is, do you guys remember when the plus minus was like the end all be all of statistics? You know, and they would say, and AOH, you did a video on this, you know, LeBron James' plus minus was plus 65. And they would show you the calculation, and the calculation never made any sense until you know, they used it until he started to play like shit and there was no refuting it. Now, all of a sudden, nobody ever talks about the fucking plus minus. So that's a prime example of moving the goalpost and sticking to a script, whatever you can do to prop him up. And I feel like I talk about this all the time. It used to be they would change the script, you know, at least a couple times a season. Now they do it a couple times a week. You know, they switch the narrative, they shift how things move. So it's actually kind of like a sign of you know, them being backed against the wall. I think they know they're running out of time because their most recent moves are all desperate. It just reeks of just desperate energy. Go ahead, Robin.
No, absolutely, Speed, man. You said you was killing it right there. You know, as far as, you know, the media team, I mean, you know what's surprising to me is I feel like we keep, you know, it's like all of a sudden a new member pops up out of nowhere. Like somebody's like, Dave, I didn't even know he was down with LeBron James like that. And then you hear some weird comments from somebody. I did a video this morning about Derek Fisher and some of the comments he made. And he was talking and defending LeBron James and the ring chasing stuff. And he was saying that, how is LeBron James chasing rings when he's the one who creates the rings? So it's really funny to me when you hear some of these people, you know, come out of nowhere, or, you know, LeBron James seems to add a new member to his media team since he retired from basketball. You know, he played with 2016. So he's continued to say all kinds of weird, nonsensical things that don't add up. And the thing about that is when you think about LeBron James overall, is like, this is the sad reality for his career. He always needs somebody out there trying to control the narrative. And that's been the problem for LeBron James. So oftentimes I tell people, the reason why these fools out here, Scottie Pippen, Isaiah Thomas, Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp, anyone out here, the reason why they can't tear Michael Jordan down with these weird, you know, narratives and these lines that they come out. Michael Jordan was never built up through the hype. He was never built up through the media. So the media is never going to be able to tear Michael Jordan down, man. When we come out here and make these videos, and you guys were talking earlier about how, you know, people call us haters and wonder why we're talking about LeBron James. And I tell you, it's not just about LeBron James. It's about the narratives. That's what we continue to do. They're trying to always control the narrative of LeBron James. And that's what's really funny to me. He always has somebody else out there trying to rewrite their history and rewrite that narrative.
True. Absolutely. We did get a few more supers in. I was going to say, let me shout these out here. Red Factor 216 coming through yet again. Pittman and Shaq choked badly in LeBron fashion on several occasions. I haven't forgotten the migraine game or the 2000 Blazers collapse or Shaq's 6 playoff season or playoff sweeps, which is a playoff record.
Right. A shout out to Red Factor. Absolutely, man. Scottie Pippen had his opportunities. Listen, we've talked about this. Scottie Pippen had his opportunities to be that guy that they try to tell you he is now. Scottie Pippen had his opportunities to be the guy that he, in fact, says that he was back then. I was greater than Michael Jordan. I was this and that. You had your chances. 94, 95. I told you, they talk about points of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan took all the heat for that loss to Orlando Magic in 95. No one even mentioned Scottie Pippen as Where the hell was Scottie Pippen against the Orlando Magic? Oh, Michael Jordan, he's the reason they lost. Everyone blamed Michael Jordan for the turnovers. Everyone blamed the man averaged 30. And all of a sudden they blamed him, and he took all the blame. He took it upon himself. He told Tim Grover, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. It wasn't, yeah, man, Pippen could have gave me more than 16 points a game. If Scottie Pippen could have been out there and averaged 30. If Scottie Pippen could have been the freaking hero for once, nope. But that's not what happened for Scottie Pippen. He had his opportunity to be that guy. He was never that guy.
Oh, never happened once.
I think more and more about how often Scottie Pippen wasn't even available to Michael Jordan. And I was reminded when he missed a lot of playing time in the playoffs against the Miami Heat. And I never even thought about that until I happened to watch one of the games. And Kyrie Irving never did that to LeBron. I wish he had, but Kyrie was so available. Now we switched to a case in which someone wasn't available for LeBron, and he's fucked. Michael Jordan kept cruising whenever Pippen wasn't available. LeBron James LeBron without Anthony Davis, immediate failure. Failure. LeBron without Luka, immediate failure. Hell, LeBron's so bad now, even when LeBron and Luka were on the floor together, it was failure. It was only when LeBron was out and Reeves was in there that looked good. All right, I'm done.
No, it's crazy. People keep saying, what did Jordan win without Scottie? And I laugh at that stuff because when we talk about Scottie Pippen, how the hell did Michael Jordan do 2-3 peats with Scottie Pippen? How did he win 6 championships with Scottie Pippen? We can clearly look at certain series and certain parts of Scottie Pippen's career of them playing together, and we can say Scottie Pippen actually may have cost Michael Jordan 2 championships, 1 championship. Where the hell was Scottie Pippen in 1990? He was nowhere. Freaking where, man. All right? Where was Scottie Pippen in 1989 in Game 6? Everybody's like, yeah, the Bulls were up 2-1, and Michael Jordan blew it. Michael Jordan was playing hero ball, averaging damn near 40 against the Bad Boy Pistons at their peaks, and his best teammate was Brad freaking Sellers and Craig freaking Hodges. Are you kidding me right now? Where was Scottie freaking Pippen at? He didn't even play Game 6. He got elbowed in the head and played 2 freaking minutes. So where was Pippen when Jordan really needed him? You guys keep talking about, what did he win without Pippen? The fact that he won 6 with Scottie Pippen as his best teammate should tell you a lot, but you fools still don't freaking get it, man. Everybody else can have help. Everybody can play with every freaking one. Michael Jordan can have one freaking teammate. You guys bring up Scottie freaking Pippen. What's LeBron James doing with Scottie Pippen? He's trading him after 1989. He's trading him after 1990. What is he doing with Jerry Krause as a GM? Drafting guys that never even suited up for the freaking Bulls.
Yep.
Amen.
Yep. I don't even have anything to say. That's on point. Vincent Garcia, 6078 coming through. I'm convinced La Media gets a $10,000 check every time they diss Jordan. Either that or they have a quota to hit before they can get a check from Unclutch Sports. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't even be surprised.
Yeah, I thought about something earlier when we mentioned how they waited for Kobe to die to start getting brave and talking shit. But they actually haven't even waited for Jordan to die. How bad is it going to be? How bad is it going to be when Jordan does pass?
Oh, I can't even imagine.
I would have to say I think they'd be. I mean, they're stupid. So this is pointless. It's redundant me saying this. They're going to be fucking their own money up then, because if Jordan because he's immortal to me, right? LeBron has a lifetime contract with Nike, right? If you start talking bad about Jordan, now you're fucking with your own money. So I think if there's one bridge he won't cross, it'll be bad talking Jordan, as long as there's a paycheck to be had from Nike. That's my guess.
Remember, it's not just about Michael Jordan, guys. They continue to crap on Michael Jordan by crapping on his era. And the funny thing about that is they keep tearing down the 90s, but trying to lift up Scottie Pippen. So Magic Johnson wasn't that great. Clyde Drexler wasn't that great. Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, all these guys, John Stockton, all these guys that played tonight, they were okay. Dikembe Mutombo, Alonzo Mourning, they were okay. But Scottie Pippen, yo, I don't know about Scottie Pippen, man. That dude was out there balling, man. Oh my goodness gracious. This is insane stuff, man. How the hell are you going to take that picture? It doesn't make any sense out here. This is what I've been telling you guys, man. It ain't just about Michael Jordan, man. They continue to try to trash the 90s era as if he ain't going against nobody. As if they competing. As if these guys ain't go about things the right way and play with the love of the game, play with a certain level of competitive fire. I mean, it's insane stuff that we even hear with some of these things, man. And people try to act like we're hating, man. We're loving the game, man. We're respecting the game. We're a whole nother freaking standard of the game, man. Y'all not. You guys don't care. LeBron James don't care about the goddamn game. When you say Giannis could score 250 points in a freaking 70s game, have you lost your freaking mind? But then you're going to be offended when people say Jordan can average 40. Once again, we're talking about Michael freaking Jordan. We're not talking about some other guy. They didn't say Clyde Drexler could average 40. They said Michael Jordan could, and you are offended by that? How could you be offended? If you know the game, you know Michael Jordan, you're not offended by that comment. You're not offended by that statement at all. Those are the facts right there. But when they tell you LeBron James would dominate the 90s, and then AOH puts the video footage out of no one touching him when he goes to the rim and throws himself on the ground, that's video proof that he will not dominate the 90s.
I gave Robin the good powder today.
I'm going to send you some jewels for that one, Robin.
Right? Robin's he's sniffing the good stuff today.
And a gold coin, some rubies.
Yeah, your nose is bleeding, Robin. You should get that checked out.
Oh my goodness!
I think the only thing that basketball fans would have been offended about what you said is that he would only average 40.
Right.
If he was averaging 37 and 38 before they implemented the triangle, 50.
Yep.
I mean, it's unsubstantiated though, but that's how I feel about it. Anyway. Just a messenger. Thank you for coming through. Philly governor trying to be like Mayor Quimby in Simpsons. I mean, he's trying to do something.
That's funny, yo. That's funny.
I like that. Shout out to the Simpsons. When I was in 6th grade, I wore a Bart Simpson t-shirt to school that said, "I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?" And I was actually sent home for wearing that t-shirt.
Wow.
So shout out to the Simpsons. In the t-shirt that my parents bought me and I went to school with and I got sent home.
What's funny is the exact same thing happened to me, except I was wearing the Simpson one where Bart said, "Eat my shorts," and I got sent home.
Hey, they'll kick you out of an NBA game if they tell LeBron that. If you tell LeBron James, "Eat my shorts," they will have you quickly escorted right out that arena.
You will be
They'll call you racist.
All right, KC70058 coming through. If LeBron wanted to stay in LA, he should have joined Los Angeles Sparks. Had have been something to see.
Joanna, man.
All right. Jaden Young coming through. Curry's 2015 and 2022 rings are more valuable than any LeBron rings, without question. That's
absolutely.
Word.
There's absolutely no disputing that whatsoever.
Shout out to Jaden Young. That's why I keep telling you guys, it's the Steph Curry era. It's always going to be the Steph Curry era. It was not the LeBron James era. It was the Steph Curry era. They went and joined him. They went to play with Steph Curry. LeBron James went and joined other people.
And he had to, the people that did join LeBron had to be tricked, like Luka and Jalen.
They had to be traded there. They didn't go by their free will.
Yeah, duped behind their back.
I told you, man, Steph Curry turned his teammates into Hall of Famers, man. You can't point to nail one of LeBron James' teammates that he made a Hall of Famer. All the guys he played with, they're Hall of Famers on their own strength, on what they accomplished.
I knew it was going to happen, but I did finally see it, and it was a fanboy trying to say LeBron created Austin Reeves. And I pointed out years ago, because I knew people were going to say this. I was like, when we saw what Austin Reeves was capable of doing, it was when LeBron James faked an injury and set out, and Austin Reeves had a chance to show what he can do. It wasn't because of LeBron James being on the court. Every single fucking time LeBron James is off the court is when you see Austin Reeves shine.
How did LeBron James really help Austin Reeves, AOH, by getting all those foul calls for him, by helping him be on the team and getting all them free throws?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could make an argument for that.
That's what made Stephen A's little race dating bullshit so frustrating, because you know, when with these white boys, whatever, blah blah blah, it's Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, who the season prior were considered some of the top players in the league. Now all of a sudden you can't win with them. They don't know
top scoring duo.
They have no consistency, right? Thank you. Top scoring duo. And as far as I'm concerned, Luka still is the most entertaining, you know, despite all his flopping and complaining. Offensively, I love watching his game. And I didn't give a shit about his color then. I don't care about it now. And neither did the analysts until it came to LeBron James.
Word. Remember, Luka Doncic was averaging 40, and they kept trying to tell you LeBron James was the one that was leading the Lakers on that winning streak. But Luka Doncic during that winning streak was averaging 40, and again was getting no credit for it.
None. Wild. If anything, because I know Pippen's always brought up, right? But you can make a list of the players who have just lost complete credit and accountability. We talked about this earlier, just based on greatness that LeBron has destroyed. And there's Luka right there, and Reeves right there, better than anybody Jordan ever played with. And LeBron is so bad that he actually ruined their chances of being greater. Nobody ever talks about that.
Nope.
I told you, imagine if Michael Jordan was playing with Kevin Garnett on the Wizards. He just happened to go to the Wizards. Michael Jordan's first year he got there. They somehow, Kevin Garnett ends up there. That's essentially what he got in Anthony Davis when Anthony Davis came to the Lakers, man. Yeah. Anthony Davis was one of the best, if not the best two-way player in the game, man. It was him and Giannis, man. For the best two-way player in the game, the man was one of the best player of the year award in 2020. The first freaking season he played with LeBron James. And I think he probably should have won Defensive Player of the Year award that season. The Lakers were the top defense, man. You think that was because of LeBron James? Get the hell out of here, man. But Michael Jordan wasn't playing with no Kevin Garnett type of player. Are you kidding me?
Years before that Luka trade, I used to joke, you know, on the topic of them always saying LeBron doesn't have any help. I used to joke they could even give LeBron Luka, and they would end up saying that he had no help. They could even give LeBron Giannis. And we live in such a gross world now that they actually gave LeBron Luka. I made that joke because it was an absurd amount of help. You don't do things like that. They did it. And they not only did it not work because of LeBron James, they trashed Luka. And then they didn't stop there. They tried to team him up with Giannis. I mean, they have no shame whatsoever.
Nope.
None.
I say they even tore down Luka when he wasn't playing.
Yeah,
there were a few different media heads that I said that they blamed Luka for him being injured and being out, and that's why they didn't. That's why they got swept by OKC.
Didn't one of my breakdowns, like, they panned to Luka on the bench instead of talking about the LeBron fucking up?
I mean, talk about not being able to win. You get thrown under the bus even when you're not on the court. That's just crazy.
And that's how LeBron James teammates are remembered. Guys like Luka Doncic, guys like Anthony Davis, who you always hear them trash. Oh, Anthony Davis wasn't this. Anthony Davis was always hurt. Meanwhile, LeBron James missed just as many games Anthony Davis did in LA, man. But they talk about how many games Anthony Davis missed. Anthony Davis was the one that came to LA and saved the Lakers, man. He's the one that saved LeBron James. But they give LeBron James all the credit for that. If Anthony Davis wasn't there playing defense behind LeBron James, like AOH just pointed out in the video footage, this man's covering two players back there, covering for LeBron James on the defensive end. LeBron James on the glass is a liability. Anthony Davis to box out two people on a nightly basis. Go watch the video footage, man. LeBron James waiting for Anthony Davis to do all the dirty work boxing out, and then LeBron James will steal a rebound from Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis with a 40-20 game in the in-season tournament championship game that LeBron James celebrates a high hell, and he didn't even get the MVP for that? How do you get 40-20 but not get the MVP? Imagine if Scottie Pippen ever had a 40-20 game in a championship game scenario and he didn't get the MVP for that. They'd be up in arms about that to the day, LeBron James fans. They would never stop talking about these kinds of things. But no, they still won't give Anthony Davis credit for the championship run in 2020. They still want to point to LeBron James. Anthony Davis was out there leading them in points per game. He was out there leading them in clutch time play. He was out there leading them in defensive effort, way more than LeBron James. Still gets no credit to this day. They talk about Chris Bosh like he was some also-ran, a third option on the team. The guy was the best player on his freaking team. And you ever notice how LeBron James fans will always say, oh, well, what did this guy do without LeBron James? What did this guy do before LeBron James? But who did those guys have in their teams? Who did they play with? You always say LeBron James ain't have no help in Cleveland. Who did Chris Bosh have in Toronto? I dare y'all to name 3 players from the Toronto Raptors. Name them right now. You couldn't name the guys, but you already talk about LeBron James help. They talk about Kevin Love. Oh, what did Kevin Love do for LeBron James? You name the Kevin Love teammates. Name his teammates right now at the top of your head. You have no freaking clue who Kevin Love is playing with. And once again, Kevin Love is in the Western Conference, my man. Not in that weak-ass East LeBron James playing with. Oh, what did Kyrie Irving do for LeBron James? Who did Kyrie Irving play with? He was playing with nobody also. They were doing the same things that LeBron James was doing without help.
Robin, the easiest way to dead that argument is just to flip it and say, well, what did LeBron do before them? Or after them? That's the easiest way to, what's he done? What has he done? Without them or with them? What has he himself actually done? That's the easiest way to flip that argument.
Exactly.
All right, we're starting to get behind on some supers again, so let me shout these out. I don't know if that's Triple L, but 440 joules. Thank you.
Chris Bosh was playing with Candace Parker's brother. That's who he was playing with. All right, Candace Parker's brother. That's who Chris Bosh was playing with. He was playing with a bunch of role guys. Mo Peterson. He was playing with role dudes, man. Once again, who's playing Kevin Love playing with? Oh, LeBron ain't got no help. Them dudes ain't had no help either.
24 Rapture coming through. Does everyone agree they created the play-in tournament to keep Braun in the playoff picture? Absolutely.
And he was the first person to call it stupid. Go figure.
Yep. He said whoever came up with it should be fired.
Yeah. And he's so stupid he hadn't even thought about how it's going to benefit him. He had to turn he had to flip his stance.
But remember, he has a high IQ.
Yeah. We've never seen a shred of evidence for this. Can't give you one goddamn line from his favorite movies. Can't give you one goddamn quote from his favorite books. Not one.
From a book he's
one.
reading. AOH, he can't give you a quote from a book he is actually reading in front of you.
I mean, you could accidentally quote something, goddammit.
You can look down and read the fucking words in the book. And he won't
exactly open page to a random page and read something and be like, you know what, I found that incredibly profound. That would have sounded better.
That motherfucker didn't even look down to try. He just made some bullshit up. It was just, never mind. We could just keep going. I don't even like reliving that shit. That whole Malcolm X thing was like a moment in time for how far we've fallen as a fucking society. It was like a South Park clip. It's like something you would like that was like a Police Academy fucking spoof. Watching this dude try to figure out an answer in live time. I can't believe it was real.
Man, I remember seeing a clip of LeBron James promoting some soccer team that he was supposed to be affiliated with, right? There's some years back. And LeBron James did not even realize the guy that he was talking to in the interview, in fact, was a legend from the team that he was supposed to be affiliated with. So he's talking and having a conversation and didn't even know the freaking guy was when he was supposed to be a legend of that team. This is what LeBron James does. He tries to fake things. He tries to act like he knows everything. He once again puts on this form. We talked about the George Costanza of the NBA. That's LeBron James, man.
Yeah, it was the Liverpool Football Club because he's a
thank you, Tiberius.
Yeah, he's a 2% owner. And I apologize. I don't remember who he was talking to, but maybe one of the like most touted Liverpool Football Club players ever. Yep. And LeBron had absolutely no idea who he was standing next to.
No clue who the guy was.
Twilight Zone coming through again. Glad I got your name right this time. Interesting thing about the 95 Orlando series. Chicago never lost by more than by 9 points. Number 2, Pippen game 1, 7 points. Game 6, 10 points. And for the series, 40, 34, and 68.
Exactly. That's a classic Scottie Pippen line right there. And again, this is not to tear down Scottie Pippen, but this is the reality of who Scottie Pippen was. And this is what we watched on the basketball court. Was Scottie Pippen there for Michael Jordan? Absolutely, man. Was Scottie Pippen a key member? And absolutely, Michael Jordan didn't win with him? Absolutely. But these are the moments that we were talking about, that maybe if he would have been the guy that you're saying that he is, if he was really that guy, then in these moments, where was he? He was not able to do the things that you guys are trying to say that he could do. He could never do those things. If Michael Jordan could have pulled it out, the Bulls couldn't win. And that's what you saw. Look at the numbers that Pippen was putting out there.
It was the pressure for Jordan to deliver at an absolutely elite level on both ends of the court. He didn't have the luxury of having people behind him to pick up his slack. If he didn't deliver on defense, they lose. If he didn't deliver on offense, they lose.
Word.
It's that simple. All right. J. Michael, AOH, is media motivated more by money or by the need to be able to say we're witnessing the greatest thing ever?
Money.
I mean, I think it has to be money.
Is that really that great of a need to say we're witnessing the greatest ever?
The more you say that, the more traffic you bring in AOH. So,
yeah.
I mean, the answer is money, but...
Yeah, so you have to look at the times have changed because, again, people weren't constantly shoving in my face that we were watching the greatest player ever in order for me to get to watch 90s basketball. I was watching anyway.
Yep.
Ain't that some shit? We just watched it because we enjoyed it, not because we were told we had to.
Well, it was good, and everybody showed up.
Yeah.
Right, and that guy keeps telling everybody that he's the greatest. Like, I mean, you keep telling everybody you're the greatest. Not only are they promoting you as the greatest, you keep telling everybody you're the greatest. That's not what we remember. That's not how the professionals are supposed to be. That's how the all-time greats are supposed to carry themselves. But this is what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
I mean, and you got to see this the same squad try to beat the squad they didn't beat the year before. Now it's just like, well, that didn't work. Let's reform the team. I mean, that takes a lot away from it.
Yep. Yeah,
I think competition is what you're talking about there, AOH.
Yeah, basically.
That's not a thing anymore.
No,
it's been completely bypassed.
Yep.
Militarize coming through with 1,000 joules. Thank you. Praise the Dawn. Good to see you. Praise the Dawn. Even in his MIA days, LeBron was overrated on D, or Miami days. Sorry.
Yep.
He was overrated.
Jeff Green was talking about that, wasn't he?
Yep. Shout out to Praise the Dawn again.
Thank
you very much.
Jeff Green just talking about that?
Through.
Jeff Green was just talking about how LeBron was just known for the chase down block, but that's because he was giving up on his defender, and how he was playing for those blocks, and that's it. Just as a one-on-one defender, he was nothing special, which is true.
Right. Well, and Sports and Fitness Rants
Tony Allen. Thank you about that, Jeff Green.
About Tony Allen.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Tony Allen.
Right.
I don't know where Jeff Green came from.
I was going to say calling him out. And
Yeah.
there's been a lot of backlash to that, which is hilarious because Tony Allen only said things that were true, just like us.
Right, and really, if you think about what Tony Allen said, like I mentioned in my video, he was actually offended, right? Not because of LeBron James necessarily thought he was a great defensive player, was because LeBron James keeps claiming that he was robbed of a Defensive Player of the Year award. So what in fact is that doing? Is taking away from Marc Gasol. That's what LeBron James fans continue to do. They continue to crap on Marc Gasol. LeBron James himself is taking away from Marc Gasol and what he earned during that season by saying, yeah, I should have won this. I was robbed. Oh, man, this is crazy. I don't know how I didn't get that. That's really why Tony Allen was upset. He's like, dude, you wasn't great like that on defense to be talking and acting like that. And he said, if Mark didn't win it, then I should have won it.
Yeah, good point, Robin. And I know we've talked about this before, but it's not just that LeBron did not deserve the Defensive Player Award. It's that LeBron James disrespects other people and says disrespectful things all the time that other players wouldn't get away with. How is he the face of the league? He constantly demonstrates behavior that no one should repeat.
Yep.
No one should act like LeBron James, and they keep calling him the face of the league and saying he's done great things for the game. And they can't give you a single, they can't give you a single fucking example.
Exactly.
But everyone has to apologize immediately if they say anything even resembling the truth about LeBron James. It's weird, dude. How the fuck is an athlete getting treated like this?
And you know what's crazy about the Tony Allen comments is that you see the LeBron James fans have made a lot of response videos to the Tony Allen comments. So Tony Allen mentions LeBron James, all the LeBron James fans go on the defensive, and they started cherry picking videos of LeBron James playing defense. It's funny how they got to cherry pick plays here, plays there, LeBron James playing defense. When you watch a lot of people put video footage, my man, the AOH, but the Czar puts the video footage out. He's not cherry. He's letting the video footage run. We're watching this video footage run. Yep. We ain't taking a play here, a play there, or a couple plays from the first half, or a couple plays from the third quarter, and you try to match together and have a continuous loop going on. These are just sometimes we can't even get through the first freaking quarter. LeBron James out there lollygagging, out there standing around, out there crying and moaning, out there once again flopping all over the basketball court. That's the facts.
I've even stopped myself. I was like, shit, did I use the same clip again? Because I want to make sure that my videos have integrity. And I'm like, no, it's the next play, and LeBron James just looks exactly the fucking same.
You know, what's funny about you saying that, Robin and AOH, is that I feel like we're always having conversations outside of here where we're saying, well, do you want to talk about what Rich Paul said today? But you have to go through hours of footage because he's always saying something crazy or stupid. So it's almost impossible to focus in on one or two dumb things he's saying. It's all dumb. And it actually makes it really hard to focus on one or two topics because that's just the nature of their entire camp. Their entire marketing campaign is just saying stupid shit. And I almost wonder if it's intentional to make it more difficult for content creators to actually hunker down and focus on something, because it's I feel like we talk about this all the time. It's impossible to pick just one thing because there will be something else stupid tomorrow.
By the time I've started to narrow the list down, I'm tired and I don't even want to do it anymore.
Right. Exactly. And then they come out with some other crazy bullshit. Now I'm hearing about this, he took a secret meeting with the Cavs. Thanks, Shams. Who gives a fuck? Like, I think they're doing it on purpose. Like they have to be doing it on purpose. They're like, if we just keep putting bullshit out there, it'll make it impossible for people to pay attention to it. I have to think it's intentional.
It seems like it could be. All right, top dog coming through. LeBron ain't winning any rings with Pippen, Draymond, Clay, Gasol like Curry, MJ, and Kobe did. He's not. You give him any of those players and it will be the exact same thing as always.
Amen.
They'll have to change their game to match his game, which destroys their game. LeBron's game isn't good enough. They're not winning anything.
Yep. Exactly. Like you said, man, winning with what you got. Like I said, you think about someone like Pau Gasol, man, and people forget that Pau Gasol wasn't some dominant player that was having all this success. You could say that he was similar to a Chris Bosh, man, where people talk about, and try to downplay Chris Bosh, but then they'll lift up Pau Gasol like he was some, all-world player. He's not going to the Hall of Fame unless he plays with Kobe Bryant, man. It helps Kobe Bryant win those championships. And Kobe Bryant had to figure it out with Pau Gasol. They didn't win that first year in 2008 when Pau Gasol came halfway through the season, man. They didn't win that year. They had to figure it out, man. He called up Michael Jordan. He was like, yo, man, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? They got you some help, right? Kobe Bryant wanted help, right? Kobe Bryant wants some freaking help. Kobe Bryant wants some help. And they got some help. And what did Kobe Bryant do? He was like, all right, no doubt, man. This is what y'all got me. I'm going to make it work. And he made it work, man. That's what he did.
All right, Johnny Mac 23, off topic, but this is the same media who for years pressured Giannis to leave Milwaukee because they saw Milwaukee is a racist city, but I don't see that same energy for Jokic in Denver.
I don't understand it.
They always want Giannis to leave. Giannis, the same guy that LeBron James was ducking all them years. Oh, man, it's crazy, man. He's the hope for Denver. That's what he's the great hope in Denver, man. They need him in Denver, man. He is Denver. Just like Giannis. Listen, man, Giannis didn't have to leave. He didn't have to leave, but think about what Milwaukee did for Giannis. They signed like two of his freaking brothers to contracts. These dudes suck. Why are they there? Because of Giannis brothers. They signed this fool. Are you kidding me? He was on the roster. Kostis, whatever the hell his freaking name is. How the hell is he on the roster? That's what the Milwaukee Bucks did. They actually signed your freaking brother who can't play to a roster spot.
Crazy. All right, Zoltar 424 coming through. When Braun fanboys bring up how easy the 90s were, they never bring up the Pistons in 90, the Rockets in 94, 95, and the Spurs in 99. Wonder why that is.
That's right. That's right. Never. They said they say the Pistons were old, even though they were coming on a back-to-back championship. LeBron James never had to face a back-to-back champion in the Eastern Conference freaking finals. That's what Michael Jordan had to beat for his first championship, where everybody was picking the Detroit Pistons to repeat. They had all the talent. Dennis Rodman's a back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year award winner. All of a sudden, those guys are all old. But then when Rodman comes to the Bulls 5 years later, he makes them a super team. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. No. Remember, we talked earlier, people forget, it's 2 3-peats, right? Don't ever forget that, you clowns. But also, Michael Jordan in 1998, on the tail end of that second 3-peat, the Bulls were the oldest team in NBA's history to win a championship. They didn't make excuse for the Bulls being old then, but you want to talk about the Detroit Pistons were old in 1991. It don't make a difference when you're Michael Jordan. When you're like that, there is no excuse needed. Someone made a comment about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being the oldest Finals MVP in NBA's history. When you think about how they promote LeBron James as the oldest player to do X, Y, Z, or the youngest player to do X, Y, Z, really, what is he the oldest and youngest player to do? Is he the youngest MVP in NBA's history? No, he's not. Is he the youngest Finals MVP in NBA's history? No, he's not. So is he the oldest MVP in NBA's history? No. Is he the oldest to lead something or lead a category in NBA's history? What is he really the oldest and youngest to do? Absolutely nothing. To score 15,000 points or 25,000 points? Good for LeBron freaking James.
Yeah, and that Pistons team was younger than the 2014 Spurs that beat prime-aged LeBron James.
Word.
Well, yeah, they didn't announce the schedule yet, did they?
I don't think so. If
so
they did, I missed it.
Here's where I hope Philly fans don't let me down, because I'm assuming the Christmas Day game will be Lakers Philly because they're stupid. They're gonna boo the shit out of his son, and he's gonna have to decide what he wants to do with that in live action. And I'm actually really curious to see how he reacts.
They will not.
They're gonna boo the. Are you kidding me? Philly's gonna boo the fuck out of Bronny James.
Why?
Because that's what they do. They just
did they boo him before?
Like, no, but they will. They're gonna boo the shit out of the Lakers.
Why would they do that now?
Because he's a nepo baby, and now it's okay to talk about. Now that he's not on, now that they're not together, it's okay to talk about. Just wait, you'll see.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, Top Dog mentions exactly what you did, Sports and Fitness Rants. Why do I always say the bad boy Pistons were old in 91?
There you go, man. Exactly. They stand up there trying to make excuses, man. Right? Magic Johnson was old in 91. Everybody got old. Everybody's old. The back-to-back MVP that was the runner-up that season is all of a sudden old now. Go look at the Bulls' ages when they played the Orlando Magic in 1996 Eastern Conference Finals. Go look at the age of Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott. Look at the age of them, and then go look at the age of Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. Look at their ages. And then you're going to sit there and tell me that 91, the Pistons were old versus the Bulls in 1991. Laughable stuff here.
And I never heard anyone defend Shaq by getting swept by the old Chicago Bulls.
Right. Right.
Never happened. All right, Mark Raving Mad. I'm convinced the LeBron's plan is to play 2 more seasons with an insufferable farewell tour that continues through the 2028 Olympics. I mean, I can't put it past him, and then they'll give him another Olympic MVP at, however old he'll be, because who gives a fuck? But
remember, and I said this on the last show, but I'm going to say it again. Remember, they gifted him an all-star appearance because what if it's his last season?
Yup, that's right.
Yeah.
How many fucking accolades has he been gifted? And yet, if you hear Shannon Sharp later on talk about the GOAT case, he'll list these accolades that he never earned.
That's right. So they give him an all-star appearance, and he doesn't even show up. He shows up in civilian clothes. He shows up to take pictures like a cornball with all the guys in their basketball stuff. LeBron James out there in street clothes, looking like a straight fool.
Looking all pouty and shit, like trying to look visibly upset.
Yep. All right, Jeremy Jones comes through. If LeBron is living in New York, he better avoid the Puerto Rican festival because of the PTSD he has due to what JJ Barea did to him in 2011.
Oh, man.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Oh, shout out to all the Puerto Rican basketball players out there, the basketball fans of Puerto Rico, man. Shout out to JJ Barea, man.
Shout out to all of the JJ Barea wives that are out there.
Yep.
JJ won in that category too.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, goodness gracious.
All right, Redfield 24 coming through. LeBron is arguably the worst defensive player ever. Also wanted to shout out Redfield. He became a member of your channel, AOH.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, no problem with LeBron James is a lack of consistency. When you have 5 all defensive first teams, right, 6 all defensive teams overall, and you're going into your 24th season, this is part of what we talked about earlier. How come LeBron James is not the oldest player in NBA's history to make an all defensive team? He's not even close in that category, guys. LeBron James has never made a single all defensive team in his 30s. Meanwhile, you have guys like Kevin Garnett winning Defensive Player of the Year awards well into their 30s. Guys like Tim Duncan making all defensive teams well into their 30s. Gary Payton making all defensive teams way into his 30s. Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. These guys are making all defensive teams well into their 30s. Guys like Bill Russell played defense well into his 30s. Will Chamberlain, Jerry West. These guys were playing defense. John Havlicek, well into their 30s. LeBron James stopped playing consistent defense a long, long time ago. But they're going to try to tell you he's an elite level defensive player. To be considered an elite level defensive player, not only are you great on defense, but you're consistently great on defense. You were great for a long period of time. And when it mattered most, you were able to show up on the defensive end. You were able to play your position and once again guard your position. LeBron didn't guard Kevin Durant in 2017. He didn't even take the challenge of trying to guard Kevin Durant. What did he do with Andre Iguodala in 2015? What did he do with any of these guys in these scenarios? He was not there when it mattered most to shut guys down, to really show up. Where was he against Kawhi Leonard in 2014? Go look at how old Kawhi Leonard was in 2014. And anyone told you about LeBron James' age in 2007. You guys don't make no sense, man.
Also, you can't be considered an elite defender if somebody has ever said, can LeBron stop Jason Terry?
Exactly.
One negates the other.
You guys remember Kendrick Perkins?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
About 2 years ago, while LeBron was playing insanely bad defense, Kendrick Perkins tried to introduce the idea during one of the segments that LeBron James should be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. It was so absurd that I think that even ESPN wouldn't run with it. But he tried. Right. He fucking tried.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Praise the Dawn coming through again. Thank you, sir. LeBron conned everyone into believing losing is the new winning. His fans are beyond disgraceful, having super teams bullying the weaker conference, calling himself the GOAT. I swear I hate this fool. That's the thing that's funny is they call us haters, and I'm like, oh no, I genuinely do hate you. Like it's far worse than being a hater. Like a hater is a word that you guys have made up and completely destroyed the meaning of. I genuinely fucking hate him.
Tell us how you feel.
All right. Druder, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Druder032003. Thank God my Wolves didn't get LeBron. My condolences to Philly fans. What do you think about LaMelo and the Wolves this year?
Druder, congratulations to you. Congratulations to you for that not happening to you. However, I'm not sure why people are excited about LaMelo. I don't get it. Some people are. I'm not sure I see that working.
I mean, I made a video about it. It's not going to work.
You know what? Shout out to Druder for coming through and asking about the Wolves and, being thankful LeBron James didn't show up, but you got LaMelo Ball. So it's one of those things where, I guess you got to take the good with the bad, right? But when you think about LaMelo Ball, one of the things that I'm hearing, or what I'm hearing out of the Timberwolves, is that they want to have fun, quote unquote fun. And LaMelo Ball brings an element of fun to the team. And that to me is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life, because the point and the object of this game and of the sport of basketball is to compete to win the game, not to have fun. Now, I get that you want to have fun. You want to, have some level of fun when you're playing the game. You don't want to be miserable. But if LaMelo Ball is only going there for the fun of it, like to make the team have some more fun and bring a fun element, I think that's part of the problem for LaMelo Ball, is that he's having too much freaking fun out there, dude. He's always goofing around, doing these one-legged shots. I mean, just playing a goofy style of game.
But Rod, also, you know, the whole having fun thing, I hear you. It wasn't that long ago that the Timberwolves weren't beating the shit out of the Lakers in the playoffs. So they're not in this phase of let's have fun and pull it together. Anthony Edwards, he's in a good spot to like really kind of take over the West. It's not going to be with LaMelo Ball. So I do enjoy, like, he seems like he enjoys playing basketball, which you don't see from a lot of players these days. They just kind of see like they're going through the motions, but he is out there. The crazy thing is he's just out there fucking around with those guys, not taking it serious, and he's still dropping buckets, still putting dudes in highlight reels, right? So imagine if he took it serious. But it's like the wrong time for Anthony Edwards, because if he didn't have 19 babies' moms and have all this crazy off the court shit, I think they would have put him as the face of the league. Not to mention he's an Adidas guy, not a Nike guy, but he's primed to be the face of the league. And you're not doing that having fun. Like they could win, they should win, but it's a backward step to me.
I thought Julius Randle was important to them, but maybe I didn't watch that closely this last year, but he was important to them against the Lakers, because LeBron James always tries to bully ball people, and Julius Randle was just running into a wall trying to do that to Randle.
I think getting rid of Randle was good for the Wolves. I think that was actually a good move. You see, the Knicks got rid of Randle, and all of a sudden they became a much better team when they got rid of Julius Randle. So my problem with Julius Randle has always been his lack of, overall defensive consistency. His lack of high IQ plays. He takes a lot of dumb shots, Julius Randle. He's like a black hole out there, man. You give him the ball, you ain't getting it back, man. So getting rid of Randle was a positive. But again, when you have Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball playing, yes, there's talent there. Yes, there's some skill level there. And yes, there's going to be a level of excitement. There's going to be some crazy alley-oops being thrown. There's going to be some crazy dunks. LaMelo Ball's going to have some number games where he puts up some crazy stats playing with Anthony Edwards. But when we talk about having fun, yes, you want to have fun, but these guys need to have some seriousness. See, some of the problem with some of these guys is they still are playing and acting like their third year in the league. Yo, these guys are in the league for like 7 seasons now. So you guys have to get it together. You're not rookies anymore, man. Someone like John Morant, he still acts like he's in his second, third year in the league. Dude, you're a veteran now. You're literally a veteran. If you worked the job out in the real world and you were there for 7 or 8 years, you would be considered a veteran at your job.
Yep.
I'm not so sure, man. This goes back to LeBron James. LeBron James couldn't get it done in 7 years. He fled and had someone else do it for him. He should have been buried. Instead, they chose to continue to prop him up.
Robin, that's such a great point. I never thought about that. All this young talent, like, see John Morant, none of them are about business. None of them are about the business of basketball. I bring this up all the time. You see more John Morant highlights of dunks he didn't complete than dunks that he did. It's weird. Again, Adam Silver is the first person to tell you it's a highlight reel. When I go through Instagram and all that, I see more fucking highlights of crossovers and pump fix and all this shit that amounts to nothing, but they'll get hundreds and thousands of views. And I see this in the NBA now too. I see more highlights about the fucking celebration. Oh, check out the celly. Check out the celly. I didn't even know what that shit meant up until like 2 years ago, right? Check out the celly. Check out this handshake. But it was like a basic ass jump shot. That's what these players are concerned about. They're concerned about their brand. Again, this is why I give Brunson so much credit. Buddy took a whole pay cut, and immediately you saw the results. You saw the positive results of sacrificing for your team. Now New York has a chip directly as a result of self-sacrifice. You don't see, I mean, yeah, he here and there, but you don't see, oh, check out Jalen's new celly. No, who gives a shit? They just want to win. So I never thought about it till now, but yeah, the young talent doesn't care about basketball. They just care about clicks.
Well, the thing I find interesting is, whether it be talking about having fun or whether it be LeBron talking about being happy, you know what I find fun and makes me happy? Fucking winning.
Right.
Winning makes me happy. And it's just not even, it doesn't even seem to be on their radar. They just don't care. And it's because they're incentivized to not care about winning, to not care about playing, because they still get their money whether they do or don't, because the brand is more important than the basketball.
Yep. And then
It got worse after that. Siberius, you're right. They didn't even have to earn the money, but now you can make side money by just blabbering, like whining, like complaining and making excuses. Not only do they not have to win, they can have a side business talking with other players about why it's not fair to be judged. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's a business.
I mean, you know, what's
and not for nothing.
Go ahead, Speed.
Go ahead. Okay, yeah, real quick. And not for nothing. It used to be like these small little channels that used to repost this bullshit. But now it is like NBA and Bleacher Report and all this bullshit showing me highlights of fucking handshakes and jumping jacks and bullshit. Or LeBron James training at 4:15 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Who gives a fuck? Like these are people that make 6-figure salaries behind these keyboards putting this bullshit out. It used to be just regular content creators, and that's what's even more frustrating about it. My bad. Go ahead, Rob.
And you know what? It's not just hate. It's not just hate, because if LeBron James was winning, if he was like actually accomplishing what they make it seem like he's accomplishing, maybe I would actually have a thought that says, I wonder what he's doing when he gets to the gym early. Maybe he actually is doing something that's leading to greatness. But he's fucking losing, and he looks like shit. So why the fuck do we care if he's at the gym early?
That's actually great. Yo, you guys, that's awesome right there. That's actually really good. You know, because you know what's funny about the Minnesota Timberwolves are interesting with the LaMelo Ball and the Anthony Edwards thing. If we remember what happened with the Minnesota Timberwolves just last year in the playoffs, they were on the verge, man, but they had a bunch of injuries. Anthony Edwards went down, DiVincenzo went down, DeSumo went down. They lost 3 of their main players during their playoff run last year. So the Timberwolves are, in fact, a competitive team. You add LaMelo Ball, all of a sudden you have expectations now. This is what I talk about with the growth and maturity of an Anthony Edwards, of a LaMelo Ball going into your 7th season. What are you guys going to do this season? It can't just be about playing like a bunch of goofs, having fun, saying weird things on Twitter, saying weird things to the fans in the crowd, trying to match your tattoos to your outfit. It can't be about this stuff. It's got to be about more. You have to bring more substance.
Well, doesn't LaMelo average like 55, 60 games a season?
Something like that.
So what the hell? I mean,
is that good or bad?
He's never played a playoff before. He's never played a single playoff game, LaMelo Ball, and he's going into his 7th season in the NBA. So once again, we're talking about lack of experience. We talk about lack of impact for someone like LaMelo Ball. What are you bringing to the Timberwolves besides fun? It's got to be more than just fun. You got to go out there and do something on the court.
Well, and they need a player that can get them over the hump, because they get close and then they shut down. He's not that guy.
Yep.
He's not getting them over the edge. He's not the difference maker, because the reality is, especially at that time, he's not even going to be on the court. So what difference is he going to make?
So true.
LaMelo Ball has had 8 signature sneakers with Puma. Keep that in mind. You don't have to win to be endorsed anymore.
Nope. No.
And
Because
Anthony on his 4th sneaker with Adidas. So, you know.
As PMR point out before he disappeared, shout out to him. I hope he's alive. But what he pointed out was it literally means nothing. People are endorsed and monetized for what could have been.
Yep.
They don't have to do shit. It's literally, imagine how good he could have been against the Jazz. And that's what sells. And I'm not even sure which is worse. The fact that that's what's being sold to us, or the fact that people eat that shit up and then go buy the shoes.
Yeah.
Shout out to the real Donald Trump 1646. LaMelo has the most car accidents in the NBA. I don't know why. And then it just made me think, LeBron James is the oldest active player to never be in a car accident, is I think the next thing that they'll run with.
That's funny.
I say, yeah, here I got to get to these supers. Xavier to God coming through again. Thank you, sir. The Mavs lost Brunson, Luka, and AD.
Wild.
Word.
What?
Just depleted.
It's true. That is true.
And then, shout out the real Donald Trump. LaMelo has more car accidents in the NBA.
That shit is so funny.
Oh, wow.
Hey, I think I got to get going here in a little bit, fellas.
Yeah, I was going to say we've been running long. So, anybody have any last words before we shut this down?
Also, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for the supers and the support. It's awesome. Very much appreciated.
Absolutely. I definitely want to thank everybody for coming through in the chat, all the same names, especially for all of the supers. You guys have been incredibly generous today. Shout out to Angry Old Hoop Sports and Fitness Rants and Speam for being a part of these Wednesdays. And thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of it.
I'll see everybody Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you guys
man.
Sunday.
Thank you very much,
Deuces.
guys. Be good, man. Catch you guys on the next one.
See y'all.